But look at Sadler. Caught down to the one. Sadler will keep it, go around right edge, twist, turn, and get in the end zone.
Hey, look, way too drippy, yeah, I make it look easy. Hands too sticky by the mall, yeah, believe me. Pull up to the julep, need a dog, don't tease me. Now they see me shining, dog, it can get daylight.
This is a big game for both these teams, and they're going to get a stern test, both sides.
And a beautiful night for football in the Motor City to decide a couple of rivals. It's King welcoming in Cass. It's the city championship in week 4 on 3200 Lafayette. Chad Bush alongside Sam Stick. Day sellout crowd. It sold out in 7 minutes, and that means it's important. It's always important, Stick, but you know what? It means a little more when both teams are a little bit feisty, a little hungry. For the second time in 40 years, both these teams come in with losing records. Something we're not used to seeing, sir. Tonight, a lot on the line, as if there isn't already a lot on the line when these two schools go at it.
Yeah, first of all, you got the biggest rivalry in the state. Then you put on top of that, this year, they're both fighting for that playoff position. You know, when the graphic was up on the screen, it had 1-2 and both next to the names. Just doesn't look right, and you know it doesn't sit right with either of these programs. And I tell you, Chad, the past couple of years, we've called Cass King, and those have been some big games with some big moments, big-time players. But I have not felt the intensity pregame on those past years that I have in this game today. I mean, before the game, they were already jawing a little bit on the field. Coaches were getting into it. Referees were throwing flags. So we're going to start this game with a penalty. That should show you what's going on. That was 45 minutes before kickoff.
Already a skirmish in the pregame. Both these teams did get wins last week. They started off 0-2. The Technicians are coming off a 47-0 win over Renaissance after an opening week heartbreaking loss to Southfield A&T. Meanwhile, King got healthy with a 63-0 win over Detroit Western after they started off 0-2, including a win from the Cincinnati team, St. Xavier, who came into Detroit and knocked off King. Both these teams still trying to find themselves, Stick. Let's start first with the road team, Cass Tech. Where do you see them right now, and where could they be? Are they in trouble at 1-2?
No, you know, with Cass Tech, because of their supreme athletes, and we kind of saw this last year with basketball for them. They started to get hot middle of the season. Next thing you know, they're running their way all the way through the state for a state championship. So whenever you got talent like this on the field, you're never worried. You're just hoping that they evolve into what they need to throughout the season.
Cass Tech started 1-3 last year, would go on to the semifinals. Meanwhile, you look on the other side, and King, the home team tonight, back-to-back state champions. They start off 0-2 as well. Oh, my. They had a ton to replace, though.
That's the thing with Martin Luther King. You know, it's not resetting, it's reloading almost. You know, you got rid of the quarterback, Dante. He went off to college. You knew that was coming. And you bring in a new guy. You know, he's a transfer from Canada, big guy. He's got a decent arm, not going to blow you away with the deep ball, but he's got some athleticism to him. And he's got a lot of pressure on him, man. Stepping into those shoes for Dante Moore is no small job. But if anybody can do it, I believe he can.
We'll get deeper into tonight's ball game between Detroit King and Detroit Cass Tech. Gridiron Game Day rolls on from 3200 Lafayette. Thanks for watching.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
for Impact Players. Welcome back to Detroit, the home of the King Crusaders, taking on the Technicians. It's week 4 on Gridiron Game Day. Time to look at our Impact Players. We'll start first with a road team, the Cass Tech Technicians, and a couple players on each side that really have stood out this year. Stick, we'll start first on offense.
Yeah, one of my favorite players from a year ago. This freshman burst on the scene, looking like a man-child out there, starting at the varsity level. And now we get to see him play quarterback. We get to see him with the ball in his hands every single play. That is Corey Sadler, an absolute supreme athlete, state champion in basketball, and he'll play some wide receiver too. He's all over the field. And then you flip over to the defensive side, Cameron Summerhour. This guy, what more can you say about him, man? He's fast to the ball. He can read. He's a smart player. He crashes the defensive end, and he will cause some havoc in the Martin Luther King backfield today.
He has a lot this year, the heart and soul of that defense. We look on the other side, the home team, the Crusaders. They've got a couple talented guys on each side. Hard to pick out the exact ones, but for King, there's a couple of them that do stand out better than the rest. King Impact Players, please.
Martin Luther King's Impact Players. I mean, they're going to have a big game. You know, we want to get them out of that 1-2 record, and now we're talking about Nathan Edwards. He's the quarterback from Canada, a senior transfer, very young, they said, but he's learning the offense. He's growing as they go. He's going to be a good starter to keep your eyes on, big, athletic, and good pocket awareness. And then Marvell Eggleston, what more can you say about him? An EMU commit, big fella, already out there making plays. He's the heart and soul of the defense. As he goes, the defense goes. You're going to want to see him blow some people up tonight.
A shutout last week for King in their contest, and a shutout victory also for Cass Tech, but a different story tonight, a different level of intensity. And as Stick said, already both teams erupting at midfield, had to be separated a couple of times. And we'll dive deeper into this rivalry as we continue. The 71st meeting all-time graphic. These two teams have a long history, Stick, started back in 1950. And Cass and King, always exciting. Tonight, we expect nothing less as this rivalry continues from Lafayette. Chad and Stick roll on from Detroit in just a moment. Cass, King, coming up right here on Gridiron Game Day. We are the Prep.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Chad and Stick back with you from Detroit King High School. And you talk about this rivalry, 71st meeting all time. Last year, these two teams split. All-time graphic, please. And the previous year, these two teams split. But there has been a decisive advantage lately as King has won 3 of the last 4. King leads the all-time series 38-22 in a series that began in 1950. Tech had a nice run, 4 of 5 wins from 2010 to 2014. Chad Bush, Sam Stick Day. Maddie Miller on the sideline. We'll get to Maddie shortly, but Stick, the excitement again building Friday night. You could smell the atmosphere in the air, the food is sold out in 7 minutes. And we're going to get a lot of views tonight of fans that couldn't get in the building.
Yeah.
And, man, this is really the excitement and the atmosphere that you look for in high school football on a Friday night.
Yeah, and it started earlier in the day. I mean, people are out here tailgating. You can smell the barbecue in the air. It's just football season, right? That perfect 65-degree weather. And you can tell these boys came out here to hit tonight. And they started a little early. We're going to start the game out with a penalty. That's okay. But I cannot wait to see what happens when they can bring it on the field and do it legally.
Speaking of hits, our first hit of the night of our sideline analyst, Maddie Miller. happens now. Maddie, what is happening? Good evening, young lady.
Welcome back. This is the prep. We're here for a game between the Crusaders and Cass Tech. Guys, I got to tell you, when we were talking to Ty Spencer, Detroit Kings coach, earlier this week, he had said that with such a young team, the guys just don't get this rivalry. They don't quite understand it just yet, but I got to tell you, a fight before warm-ups definitely says that they know something is going on. What he said to us earlier this week, he said he uses the game from last year to motivate the coaches instead of the kids. He wants the kids to be focused. Yes, he wants to see that a little bit of fight in them, but he's looking for leadership out there. So hopefully that's why he's going to see this game. But right now, these guys are tough. They are ready to come out here and fight, and I'm ready for a good game. Back to y'all.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Maddie Miller. We appreciate that report. And yeah, sometimes, Stick, you're just not old enough to know and mature enough to know how important this rivalry is.
Well, they're going to learn today. They're going to learn today, Chad.
All right, ignorance is bliss. We roll on from Detroit King for the Technicians and the Crusaders coming up on Gridiron Game Day.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
We're getting set for kickoff. Chad Bush, Sam Stick Day, Maddie Miller with you. And Stick, your keys to victory tonight for both squads.
Well, it's both teams. They need to kind of grow up on the field today. If you're Cass Tech, you're going to want to utilize Corey Sadler on the offensive end and make sure you get him loose and use him as much as possible. And if you're Martin Luther King, it's all about the quarterback play. We know replacing Dante Moore is a huge thing to do, but tonight's the night to do it. Of any night to have a big game, this is the one to do it. Put your staple on it, the Cass Tech King game.
And interesting that both teams' new quarterbacks this year, developing full quarterbacks, and the rotation we saw at St. Joe's or in Youngstown, Ohio, with St. Joe's the opponent for Cass Tech.
Yep.
We saw Corey come in, C.J. Sadler start at quarterback. Sendry came in. There was really success in their passing game. I know it was overlooked in the final score, 49-14, and Cass's lost to St. Joe's, but their passing was impressive.
Yeah, pretty efficient. You know, you're talking 17 of 21, and what do they have, 141 yards and a touchdown. And when Sendry came in, they kind of upped their passing game. Because with Corey Sadler, you know, he's a supreme athlete. you almost want to run him kind of more than you should, and you use that weapon a little bit more, but then when you get more of a conventional passer in there, sometimes it settles things down. But either way, those are good options to have.
Michael Duke's an interesting story, kid they brought up from JV on a suggestion from the coach. We're excited to see him at running back as well. Little guy, but a guy that they like that's promising and just a sophomore.
Well, and that speaks to the program, right? You know, you can have good varsity players, but who's up next? Because we see it all the time throughout the year. Injuries can happen. People can fall off, and you need those depth players. And here we go.
We are set. The kickoff by Terrence Moore. Taken at the 12, and daylight for Sadler up the left sideline. Across the 40-yard line, Corey Sadler with a burst of energy. Preseason All-American as an athlete for the class of 2025, showing off his skill early on.
Well, we got to witness his greatness first game last year against Southfield A&T, and it was like, who is this kid? Every time he touches the ball, he's trucking somebody, he's running him over, he's making a miss. Just low center of gravity and a very strong athlete.
Finally tackled by the kicker, Terrence Moore. So here comes Cass Tech. It will be Corey Sadler, CJ, at quarterback from the 40 in the shotgun. The give, the handoff, and right away tackled in trouble in the backfield. Spates is handled for a 2-yard loss. Tackled by Jalen Garrett, the defensive tackle.
Yeah, Jalen Garrett, number 55. We were talking about this. There was a 55 for them last year who graduated from Martin Luther King. You see Garrett get in the backfield, absolutely break it up. He didn't get credit for the tackle, but he made the play.
It.
Yeah, number 4 on the tackle, Xavier Newsom.
Newsom will call quite a bit, plays a little bit at tight end. So a loss on the play of 2. Sadler at quarterback. We expect to see Seth Sendry as well. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And we've got movement, and Cass Tech is going back in consecutive plays.
Yeah, this is the fan involvement. You're seeing the linebackers trying to pump up the stands. This is what happens when you have
starters.
Sometimes nerves get a little bit of hold of you, and an early penalty for Cass Tech.
Corey Sadler, quarterback. So that'll back him up. Second down and 17. Sadler in the gun. 3 receivers set. 5-step drop, has time. Sadler's going to run, and now he's in trouble. Hit from behind. That's Marvel Eggleston Jr. The guy's stick highlighted as an impact player, and right away an impact. 3 consecutive negative plays King has forced Cass into.
Yeah, impact player on impact player crime here. You thought Sadler had all day. He's making a sandwich back there, hanging out. I liked how he kept his eyes down the field, but just held onto that ball a little bit long than he should have. Just throw that away. Discretion is the better part of valor.
Man.
What a hit, though. My goodness.
3rd and 19. Eggleston headed to Eastern Michigan to play for Chris Crichton and the Eagles.
You can see why.
3 to the left, 1 to the right for Sadler, the sophomore sensation in the gun from the right hash. Just underway, opening drive. And now we've got movement again, and it's going back again. It'll be 3rd and 24 for Cass Tech. A non-ideal situation for the Technicians in their opening drive.
And we've seen this before with Cass Tech versus King. The penalties keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. But this one looks like it's on Martin Luther King, and this looks like a big one, perhaps a personal foul and a first down. They're walking it off.
It is indeed. So pardon me, I thought the signal was on Cass. It is against King, and that'll move it up to a 15-yard penalty. So it'll be 3rd and 5 now.
They didn't give him the automatic first down. But, man, a 15-yard penalty. You're letting Corey Sadler back in business.
Yeah, checking in at the running back spot is Jalen Spates, the junior running back. To the right, Corey Sadler, 3 wide receivers to the left. And a manageable 3rd and mid. 5-step drop over the middle and knocked away. Threw it into no man's land, was broken up. And who else? Eggleston right in the middle of the mess. 4th and 5 and punting time, perhaps, for the Technician stick.
Yeah, and that's what makes Eggleston so great. We saw
Replay.
Back, attack. And then you see him on that play, able to drop into coverage and knock down the pass. It's that dual threat defender.
So out to punt is George Sanchez Murillo for Cass Tech. So 3 and out after Cass got new life after the 15-yard penalty, had a 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 20. Back deep for King is number 7, Damon Stinnis, the playmaking wide receiver and safety. It's an end-over-end short kick. Stennis will let it hit in front of him, and it's going to take a Cass Tech roll down to about the 27-yard line. So here comes the Detroit King Crusader offense, an offense that was potent last week, 63 points King put up against Detroit Western, but they had real struggles in their opening week loss to St. Xavier out of Cincinnati, scoring just 8 points, and then were shut out the following week in Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get with a young team, right? You're going to get the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the learning curves, and, you hope by the end of the season they put it all together. And that's why when you have 2 great coaches like a Ty Spencer and then, of course, a Rushing across the way, you know that they're going to get their team there by the end of the season. They're not there now, but they'll get there, Chad.
Back-to-back state champions would show that. So here is the quarterback in the ball game. Throw over the middle and just over the head of Damon Stinnis was Nate Edwards, the quarterback. Nathan Edwards, the Canadian transfer, 6'4", 204, the senior, and a little bit too tall for a receiver in Stinnis that was wide open.
Yeah, he hits him in stride. That's just a foot race to the end zone. Not sure who's going to win that.
Any replay?
Definitely have the angle.
2nd down and 10, 9 minutes left in this opening quarter. First drive of the game for King. Edwards, the first-year Crusader in the gun. In trouble, and he goes down. Coming off the corner, that's big Noah Bishop, the 6'4" senior defensive end. And it's a tackle for loss this time for the Technicians who turn the tide.
It's almost like we're watching mirror images of drives from both teams. Number 7 with a big sack for Martin Luther King. Number 7 with a big sack for Cass Tech. And, man, he came down. Noah Bishop coming downhill, laying the woods.
Bishop, good length. Baker, the other defensive end, great length. Anything with graphics, starting lineups yet? So 3rd and 17. Nathan Edwards in the gun. Left side. Short pass and a gainer across the 30 to the 34-yard line. So a gain of 14, they needed 17, and now it's punting time for King, perhaps, although they are lining up here with a quick, perhaps, snap look. Edwards, 3 receivers set, trying to get Cass to jump, and I don't think the Technicians are going to fall for this one. None yet. Next series. And now King jumps off sides, and it will certainly be punting time for Detroit King. So this will be 4th and 9. So both defenses impressive in the opening series for both clubs. Dick.
Yeah, like I said, almost mirror images of each other. Big sacks coming up on the first drives for each team. So both defenses came to play tonight, and we knew that. The offensives for both sides have kind of struggled early on in this season. So it's going to be interesting to see who can break through.
Edwards, the quarterback, back to punt. And the ever-dangerous C.J. Sadler, the sophomore sensation, back at his own 40. Edwards, quarterback punter, gets a good one off. It's end over end up the left sideline, and this one's going to roll. Inside the 20, inside the 15. Sadler hemmed up and covered up at the 17-yard line. There's a flag, and it looks like it could have been something to the head, maybe a face mask. But how about the punt for Edwards to get King out of hot water?
Yeah, Marcus Jennings came in and absolutely cleared out on that, so that may be the penalty that happens. I'm not sure. But either way, Corey Sadler, kind of just let it go, man. You let it.
Let's get the Cass Tech offensive starters ready. first, quarterback, then the rest.
That's what drew the penalty, but we will find out. And yes, they're moving them back. So that's what drew the penalty.
It was. That'll go back to the 5-yard line.
It's so tough to lay off those blocks, though, Chad.
They're
You
juicy.
know.
Oh, they're juicy.
You've been waiting all week. It's your rival.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, CJ makes a guy miss, and boom.
Oh, man.
But it'll cost you 15.
So, we told you we'd see 2 quarterbacks tonight, or we expect to see, but right now, it looks like Corey Sadler is headed back out there for the quarterback duties. And King is back in the shadows of their own end zone. We will see the freshman check into the lineup. And that is the guy they call Curly. And the running back and freshman Damari Hendricks. Hendricks to the right of the quarterback, CJ. And just off guard, it's going to be a gain of just 1 yard maybe for the freshman running back, Damari Curly Hendricks.
Yeah, he's got that short stature to him, so he can hide.
Let's meet the starters, backs, receivers, offensive line.
Trick the defense, but on that time, nope, Martin Luther King had it snuffed out.
Had some success against Southfield in the opener, Southfield A&T. The team that Cass Tech lost to in the final minutes, 29-27. There you see the offensive line, Khalif Canty leading the way, Jelani Walker, the senior up front, Washington Gooden and Lane. Lane's a freshman. Handoff Hendricks, and he fights forward, gets the face mask grabbed, but it's a healthy gain of about 5 yards, and this one is going to get the technicians further ahead the field thanks to the penalty.
Well, that's been Cass Tech's best offense so far, is Martin Luther King creating penalties. I mean, 15 yards on the first drive and looking like another, a major 15-yarder on this drive.
You get an idea, though, what the freshman running back who's low to the ground, Damari Hendricks, can really do.
Tough to tackle. That low center of gravity, it's always low man wins. When you start out low and you're built that way, it's tough to get underneath.
It really is. We'll also see the running back in the ball game for Cass Tech at times, Jalen Spates. And then a wide receiver crew as well. And Sykes, Graves, and the tight end Victor Polk. There you see Damari Hendricks, just a freshman. Cassius Shivers as well. Guys to look for in the skilled positions. Sadler lost it, ball on the deck and loose. King says they have it at the 27-yard line, and they do. Turnover, King forces it. How did this thing squirt out? It looks like Jaden Wyndham was right in the middle of it, Stick.
Yeah, you see the quarterback, he kind of stuck it in, and I think that was just communication between Sadler and the running back. The running back was trying to take it with him. Sadler was trying to pull it.
One more look at the replay, please. One more look. You see the smoke from the barbecue behind the King team, and that just makes everybody hungry.
Yeah, there's the defense getting a look, watching some tape. You love that now. That wasn't a part of high school football back in the day. Now they're watching tape on the sidelines, making adjustments, and it's elevated the high school football game.
Sure has. That's the defensive run coordinator, Rondé Stanton. There's a throw to the end zone, incomplete. Trying to stretch the field, looking downfield for number 13. That's Kevon Matthews, and he was well covered on that far side by Corey Sadler.
I love that play call by Ty Spencer. When you get a turnover in the zone, you drop back and you try to go for the kill. Get that massive quick change touchdown, because sometimes those can be heartbreakers. So I love that call. Didn't work out, but right call.
You see the arm. Head coach Ty Spencer says, we like his arm. It's quite accurate. Doesn't have to be a deep bomb ball. Dante Moore, of course, showcased that, but Dante Moore's gone. There's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and that is Cameron Summerhour, guy you highlighted as an impact player, Stick.
Yeah, we talked about it. We joke around a lot about the heart and soul of the defense, but watch this guy come up and fill the gap. He come in there like lightning. You couldn't even see where he came from, and next thing you know, boom, you cannot get through.
So no gain on the play. King in a passing situation here. Cluster to the left for midfield. Edwards left side caught. Left side near the sideline. Jamar Davis the slot. Close to the first down. Has the first down. And King moves the chains with a pitch and catch. And a nice play there that time.
And you know what I love about this? You know it's a rivalry game. He very easily could have stepped out of bounds here. But, man, he gets this ball. He heads up, puts the shoulder down, runs over a defender, and lets him know about it. Welcome to Cass Tech and King.
Jamar Davis with an aggressive finish. Guy who's coming back from an injury, adding a lot to this talented wide receiver group. They did lose a lot last year. Deep threat to Kansas.
Justin Wilson. Look at that big fella right there in the middle of the line. Got his hands on his hips. He's breathing heavy. That's just because he blew up that play in the backfield.
Yeah.
My goodness.
3 technique at its finest that time.
Once he gets his paws on you, you're not going anywhere. It's a big play for King right here.
Whistle before the play could get off. It looks like a false start. Oof. And a 2nd and 12 will turn into a 2nd and 17 again. We've seen these negative plays time and time again in critical positions stick.
Yeah, and that's why I said this was a big play. I know it was only 2nd and 12, but you needed that to turn into a 3rd and 6 with the shot at the end zone. You could call so many different plays. Now it's kind of, let's try to get back 10 yards and get us in a position. So that's a huge penalty in that position.
Jameel Croft was the wide receiver I was trying to recall from last year. Part of that wide receiver group that graduated for King. So 3 wide receivers, 1 to the left for Edwards, the senior quarterback from Canada. Rolling right near the numbers. Has to throw it near the end zone. Incomplete. They were looking again for Matthews. Out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd and 17 for the Crusaders.
You know, I know that was an incomplete pass, but that's not a bad play by the quarterback. There was nobody really open, and you threw it to a spot where either your guy catches it or it goes out of bounds. So even though it was not a touchdown, that was a nice throw by Nathan Edwards.
Good coverage as well by Sadler. A lot of folks talk about Sadler as a receiver, as a quarterback, as a DB, as a returner. I mean, he's listed as an athlete. Which one do you think he's best at?
You know, last year when we saw him at wide receiver and you got him in space, he was pretty special.
Yeah. No doubt. Agree with that. 3rd and 17 for Edwards and the Crusaders. Bullet over the middle, intercepted in the end zone. Picked off, going back the other way. This is Derek Jackson the second, and it's a turnover in the red zone. Technicians get it right back at the 35.
Yeah, and as much as I was praising Nathan Edwards for his throw the last time, this was not a smart throw. I think if he would have thrown it earlier in the route, but he let the safety close.
One more angle, please.
Oh, Cass Tech filled with athletes. They're not going to let that ball hit the ground.
Talked to his father after the Week 2 loss to St. Joseph, and he said, we'll be back. We'll hang in there. His father, an assistant coach. And DJ2 doing big things, 6'1", 190 junior. Gets the turnover. New quarterback in the ball game. It's Seth Sendry, the junior quarterback at 5'11". So Sendry's in. You see Corey Sadler come out wide, and now we get a chance to fulfill your wish, getting Sadler in space.
Yeah, a couple bubble screens on the outside, just get it to him. But, man, it's going to be tough if the Martin Luther King line's going to act like that and just stuff every run possible. They've done a really good job.
Do we get the King defense? Do we do the King defense, starters? So Sendry in the ballgame in Week 2. We saw, you mentioned his numbers, 13 of 15 for 131.
And I was talking about Martin Luther King's run defense. So far, -4 yards on the day for Cass Tech.
It's a stingy front. So Sendry will send a pair of receivers to each side. Give backfield, it's Spates, the junior running back at 5'6". It's a gain of about 2, and it'll set up a 2nd down and about make it a 3rd down and about 8. Call it a gain of 4 on the play.
Yeah, Xavier Newsome on that play. He didn't make the play, but he made the play, if you know what I'm saying. He's playing defensive end and was able to turn that running back up inside to some help. And I love watching defensive ends make sure that the play is going back. Because that's your one job as a DN when you're not pass rushing, is to make sure you have contain. And he did a great job on that play.
Newsome, a guy that's highly touted, a 4-star, a lot of offers. Louisville, Marshall, Michigan, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, and Tennessee, to name a few, already have offered the young man. Sendry throws it left side at Sadler, makes a man miss or 2, breaks a tackle, has a 1st down and more. Technicians lean on their preseason All-American, the sophomore sensation, CJ, who squirts out of trouble and a 1st down.
Yeah, well, what were we saying? Get him out on a bubble screen and let him go to work in space, and you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missed tackles, and that's what happens when you get him one-on-one with anybody. I don't know if there's anybody in the state that could tackle him in a phone booth.
Man, how about it? Technicians move ahead, so a 1st down. 1st downs have been tough to come by. Both teams with just a couple in this opening quarter as 60 seconds remain in this opening frame. Sendry will send a cluster to the right. He'll shift the freshman Hendricks also to his right. And a 1st and 10 from his own 47. Handoff left side, it's the freshman. Has the call and tackled after a gain of 8. That's Hendricks, the freshman who we saw flash some great runs at Wayne State in the Prep Kickoff Classic.
Well, you know how I was talking about defensive end contain? It didn't happen on this play. You see big number 59 with a block there that's able to get him through, and that 55 just came through and cleared up. But I'm talking, Hendricks did a great job getting to the outside, but that's what we're talking about with contain. If you turn him back up the middle, it's not going to be that long gain on 1st down.
That great block by Khalif Canty. That was a pancake.
Yeah, put that on the stat sheet.
Canty also a guy with a lot of offers. Auburn, Kentucky, Michigan, and many more. Right side. And this is caught by Jalen Howell. Howell is cold-cocked, 4 yards shy of the 1st down.
Yeah,
here's another look at it. Marvin Eggleston against it.
Yeah, and a shoulder right to him.
Get ready for break.
Brown, some hard hits in this 1st quarter. We knew it was coming. Some penalties in this 1st quarter.
Back to Maddie.
We got 2 teams like this going at it.
No score as we head to the 2nd quarter in Detroit on 3200 Lafayette.
Good job, boy. Ready, go.
Welcome back. This is the Prep. I'm here with Detroit Lions own CJ Gardner-Johnson. What you got there?
A burger.
That looks pretty good. Did you get that from the... I kind of do, but...
We outside the high school game, Gas Tech, King, Battle of the City. The best athletes in Detroit. Gonna turn up, shout out to Prep. We on the sideline, exclusive sideline passes. Yo, ran that.
CJ, it's my understanding that you've donated money to not only Cass Tech, but also Detroit King. What was the idea behind that?
For the kids, let them have fun, so we can come out here and watch them battle. And just basically reach their goal, well, to the Lions, or whatever they got to do. Or whatever we got to do to get out where they're from. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know how Detroit could be, but growing up where I'm from, it's kind of similar. So you want to give them a light to show that it's possible.
For someone who's given so much to Detroit and has taken Detroit as their own, what does it mean to you that they're selling out of these blue ski masks and they're going to show up here on Sunday ready for you?
It's a culture change. I'm just going off what my coach taught me. So, I mean, the grit, the grit, underdogs, the feeling that GM preaches. I mean, we just go out there and play football. I think that's what we got to bring the fire. I think that's what these young guys see. And I think that's what you can see with the crowd, too. A lot of them talking about ski mask gang already. So, I mean, it's a culture change.
And how are you feeling about being in Detroit so far?
I love it. I'm having fun. I'm doing everything I can like it's my own hometown.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Maddie. That was great.
Man.
How about it? Good job, Maddie Miller.
What an incredible interview to get, especially before the game on Sunday that everybody's been talking about. You know, Amazon doesn't have any blue ski masks left because of that man right there. And I love that he's getting a taste of the city, too, you know.
He's donated back to both schools. I mean, it's very impressive. Thank you very much for that, Maddie. And thank you, CJ. Good luck on Sunday, of course. Mask up if you can.
I got mine today from Amazon.
Did you really?
I was able to get one before they
one
sold
of the few?
out. Yeah.
Hand off to Jalen Spate, Stick, and Cass trying to establish something on offense. So far, pretty dormant. Their total's just 9 yards of offense in the first.
Yeah, but this drive has really been all of it. You know, they had to make up for some of them. When we first started this drive, they were at -4 rushing. Now they're at 12, so they're getting there, Chad.
63 yards of total offense for King in the first. Cass Tech right now with 23 yards of total offense, but they are in King territory at the 40-yard line. Cass was able to get an interception after King got down to the 15 and spoiled their opportunity. Seth Sendry in at quarterback for Cass. Looking down the middle of the field, got a man and just a bit wide. The intended receiver was looking for Graves. Incomplete, second down.
Man, I was all ready to sing the praises of number 23, Jalen Spates, on that play. Watch him pick up the blitz and give him enough time to make this throw. If that's a touchdown, that's all because of Jalen Spates, just a little bit off target. I love when running backs can pick up that blitzing linebacker.
Yeah, should get some kudos in films tomorrow. That's a unsung position, being able to block and hold off a blitz and also recognize it and be tough.
Yeah, and just stand in there with a guy running at you full speed.
Sendry in at quarterback, 3 wide receivers to the right, including Corey Sadler. Wide receiver on the left side. Sendry in trouble, and down he goes. In with a blitz, coming hard after the low snap. And in on the play was Jaden Wyndham, again, the guy who recovered the fumble, but all kinds of pressure coming from King that time.
Yeah, big number 76, Calvin Washington, tracking him down, too. You see a big 6'4", 319-pound sophomore coming at you like that, Chad? Yeah, he did the smart thing. You take a knee. I'm okay. I'm not going to take this hit. I got a future to think about.
Big dude.
Yeah.
And he's highly touted. And he's a guy that's been offered by several. Sendry's pass is batted down. It was a middle screen that was trying to get set up, and all over it, causing chaos, was Marquise Wright, the linebacker.
Yeah, 6'1", and of course, you see Xavier Newsome going off the field with what looks like an apparent, maybe it's a stinger shoulder injury. But, man, I think Martin Luther King found out what to do on that series right there. Just bring pressure. Make Cass Tech beat you. Because if you bring pressure every time, negative play.
Definitely saw some adjustments defensively. So, here comes the Cass punter, George Sanchez Murillo. And that's over his head. Murillo's going to have to go back to the 25 and somehow gets it away. And this is a banger. It's going to go inside the 15 and roll down to the 14. Oh, my. The junior George Sanchez Murillo might have just made the play of the day thus far, Stick.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally we don't make the punters the G of the game, but so far, that's the play of the game.
That could have gone, who knows how far back. Murillo could try to jump on it. He could lose it.
He could kick it while he's trying to pick it up. There's so many things could go wrong, and only one thing could go right, and it went right.
Wow, well said. So, a big play by the special teams for Cass Tech after an error. Bailed themselves out, and here we go. Nate Edwards back on at quarterback for King. He won the job after the first scrimmage. There was competition early. Handoff up the middle, squirting forward. Just a gain of about 2 yards. They'll say he was down before the last spurt. And this is Josh Rogers, the sophomore, who they really like, who they brought up from the JV.
Yeah, you see that a lot right now. I mean, they're trying to figure out who they have on their team, what they can do, and I like this. You want to give these guys experience. You want to get them out there, and you want to get them plays in a big game like this, too.
Edwards from the gun, hands off again. This time has running room and has a near first down. 2nd and 7, and he got 7 1/4. It's enough. Move the chains for King. First down, Crusaders.
You know what, and that was a little bit different of a handoff, more like a delayed handoff, and that's kind of a good way to go at an aggressive team like Cass Tech. Let them over-pursue and hand the ball off right underneath them.
Jennings rode down the sophomore running back, Josh Rogers, at 5'8", $160. Edwards will hand off again. And again, it's Rogers, and again, it's 10 yards. King's starting to find a little bit of honey hole in the run game.
Yeah, and Nathan Edwards made that play happen. That snap was very high, able to pull it down and get it into the gut of his running back, able to make that happen. And good blocking downfield by the wide receivers, too.
Ty Spencer said, look, Edwards is athletic. He's not a guy that's going to take off and run on his own, but he's athletic and can make some things happen. You saw it there with the hands.
Yeah. Those are plays that, if that ball goes over his head, it's a whole different set of problems.
King right now has 70 yards on the ground in 8 tries. This time they'll hand it off to Jamar Davis, the slot. And he is going to struggle to get back to the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit by Sadler.
Yeah, I mean, Sadler, you do not want to run to that young man's side. Look at just his closing speed. You're going to see him. This will be a great angle out of nowhere. Just boom. And you're not going anywhere once that young man hits you. Can you tell I'm a Corey Sadler fan? I know we're supposed to be unbiased, but last year watching him play was something special.
Guys that make people miss when both players are talented players going at it. You see a guy wrap him up. You know that guy's a good tackler. And when somebody just slides off them, just to see what Barry's saying. I mean, it's just certain guys have that knack. And he's one of them. Edwards, bubble screen, right side. Davis caught. Outside, first down, more. Makes a man miss. Has one man to miss to get in the end zone. All the way down inside the 25. Jamar Davis. Make it Kevon Matthews, rather. And a big gain on the play all the way down to the 24-yard line. Look at this patient bubble screen, Sticks.
Yeah,
Jamar Davis it was.
Yeah, you used the word patient there, and that's what I was talking about, letting Cass Tech over-pursue a little bit. Great down-the-field tackle, great angle of pursuit by number 3 for Cass Tech. That is Derek Jackson III. Saved a touchdown.
42 yards on the pitch and catch. Up the middle, keeper, and back to the ground game. Josh Rogers. Down for another first down. King moving this drive at will.
And you feel like King's just throwing body shots right now, right? With these runs up the middle, just the punch to the gut, and eventually, as soon as Cass Tech drops their gloves, they're going to go for the knockout.
Ramsey Stevens, the senior right guard, paving the way there for this King offensive line. It's really starting to lean on the technicians' front four. 1st and 10, 7 minutes to go. Timeout on the field, and we'll take it with them. 7 minutes until halftime. This game looking for its first points. Will we get them? Find out right after this. This is Gridiron Game Day. Chad and Stick back with you. Maddie Miller on the sidelines. Ali Hadi, your executive producer. Welcome back on Gridiron Game Day. 7-minute Stick. King on the move. An impressive drive. The best of either team thus far in this game.
Yeah, they both improved on the offense the last 2 drives, but neither of them been able to put it in the end zone. We'll see if King can do it here.
Edwards, handoff again. It's Rogers, and Rogers dancing and won't get much. This time swallowed up by the front 4 and led by number 13. That's Will Sykes, who came up from his safety spot to make the tackle.
I like his running style, though. It kind of reminds me of Kenneth Walker. He plants 1 foot and then drives straight forward. He's averaging 8 yards a carry right now as Rogers. 32 yards on 4 carries.
He's really taken most of the reps in this drive.
He's changed the game,
yeah,
honestly.
He has. There's an illegal substitution on Cass Tech. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, and it'll put King inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 8-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal, or maybe 2nd and goal. We'll see what they decide. But King is on the move, trying to score the game's first points, and it's been an impressive drive so far.
Yeah, it really has, and the way they've gone about it too. You know, like I was saying, it's just been a bunch of body punches. Little 5 run here, little 7-yard run here, bust a big play, and next thing you know, Cass Tech got a penalty on them, and you're right here, 1st and 5 from the 10.
1st and 5 from the Cass Tech 9-yard line.
Edwards in the gun. Gonna pull it back, throw in the end zone, got a man, caught, touchdown King! Touchdown by Tayshawn Henry Johnson. The running back out of the backfield was wide open, and Edwards didn't miss.
And that was all set up by the run on that drive. You bring the linebackers up, they're afraid of getting beat up the middle again, and it leaves wide open Mr. Tayshawn. Let's call him the Prince. Tayshawn the Prince.
Yeah, the Prince. This town's used to a Prince and a Tayshawn.
And he's playing for King. Come on, it all goes together.
Yeah, it does. There you see Ty Spencer on the sidelines. There was a flag. The touchdown is good. Pat the Stat confirms it. And it's going to be too much celebration, and Cass Tech will take it on the kickoff. They will decide not to move this back for the extra point.
The penalty is against King.
That's interesting. I'd rather take it on the extra point, wouldn't you?
I would. Terrence Moore on to attempt the extra point out of the hold from David Calmisi.
And that penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
The extra point is up, and it is through. So, with 6:21 to go until halftime, King draws first blood at home. 7-0 Crusaders here on Gridiron Game Day. Here's another look at the score, Stick.
Yeah, and you see the linebackers come up with this play action pass, and right over the middle, nice, easy toss. Tayshawn Henry Johnson with a touchdown, baby. 7-0. King leads Cass. The battle of the city is on.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Well, it was an 8-play drive, 87 yards. It took nearly 4 minutes, and King is in the end zone thanks to a touchdown pass to Tayshawn Henry Johnson from Nathan Edwards. 7-0 King on top. 6:21 to go until the break.
And that's an excellent drive for Martin Luther King. They got to feel really good about what they found on the offensive end. I mean, they took that ball all the way down the field. That wasn't a fluke play that broke open. That was a nice drive.
The kick is out of bounds, and this is a short field. This is something that's tough to swallow. I mean, quite a big advantage now with field position. I mean, you're almost better off just squibbing one down the middle. And you see this all too often and all throughout high school sports, all throughout high school football. And, Cass is going to move King back and say, boot this baby over.
Well, don't forget they had that penalty, too, from the excessive celebration. Now you add another 5 yards. So now you're getting 20 yards of field position. And, of course, when you have a Corey Sadler back deep, you hope he gets some touches.
That is already penalty number 4 on the night for King. Cass with a few. So this thing's going to get teed up from the 20. Now, mind you, Corey Sadler is back deep for Cass Tech. Also back, the man who returned for a touchdown against St. Joe's, the ever-dangerous Will Sykes Jr.
Yeah, pick your poison.
I mean, this will be Sadler who will come over and steal it from Sykes. He's at the 40, he's at the 50, he's across midfield to the 49. So in plus field territory are the technicians. And we'll see who comes out at quarterback with Sendry or Corey Sadler, but what a return here.
Sadler was not having that. That's when you're playing softball with your boys and you're like, I got it. And the guy just comes out of nowhere and steals it from you. But, like I said, if you're him, get that ball in your hands as much as possible.
17-yard return for the sophomore Sadler, and Sendry will come back out at quarterback. We saw him move the squad against St. Joe's at times, but it was a team that was overmatched by New Jersey's best team in St. Joe's Regional. The response last week, though, very encouraging for Cass Tech. Handoff is to Will Sykes, and Sykes, the speedster, will have a first down. So a big gain, almost 10 yards, call it 9.5. Cass Tech starting to get some things in space with a jet sweep.
Well, they figured some things out on the last drive.
Replay.
Martin Luther King wanted to start throwing massive pressure at them, and they were able to do it. But I like that toss play with the quarterback opening up to the left and tossing it back right. Your linebackers are reading the quarterback's shoulder.
Jelani Walker, the center, sophomore 2-year starter, is out there. Ball loose on the deck. And diving to cover it up. Pouncing on that fresh turf. And that was Cameron Summerhour. And a little disconnect here, partner.
Yeah, and that's what you get when you're alternating quarterbacks sometimes. Who's taking those reps in practice? Are they getting the rhythm with the handoff? We saw Sadler fumble one. Now we've seen the new quarterback fumble one. So it's something that they're working on. And obviously, when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback. That's always one of my favorite phrases in football. But they'll figure it out. They've looked better with him.
They certainly have. Still have yet to see Victor Polk, the sophomore tight end, make a presence in this game. Watch out for that tight end. He'll line up on the right side in that slot position. Sendry in the gun. Corey Sadler to his right, wide right. Sendry in trouble. Pressure, gets out of trouble. Looks downfield, airs it up, and that's out of bounds. There is a flag now. And it looks like there was contact in the backfield in the secondary. We'll see what the call is here, Stick.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to call holding or interference. But great job keeping the play alive. Rolling to his right and just chucking the ball down the field. But that's what happens. Sometimes you take that risk, and you never know. You could get an interference call.
And it looks like that's exactly what happened. Pass interference on King. And so that'll get him inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. And that was Sadler down the middle of the field in that seam, I think, that they called the holding on. Can you replay that again, please?
Martin Luther King, I mean, they have given Cass Tech all of their offense so far here in this first half.
We'll see how the technicians try to attack now from the 35, trying to tie this game up before halftime. Matty Miller will talk to head coach Ty Spencer, head coach of the back-to-back state champion Crusaders. We'll talk to him at halftime. Sendry sensing pressure, throws it up, fade route left side, Sadler, too far. Had the corner beat, and Stennis but Sendry couldn't put it on the money.
Yeah, just not quite enough air underneath it. When you got a guy like Corey Sadler out there, you want to just throw it sky high and let him run under it like he did that punt or the kick return. He'll go find the ball, I guarantee you. And if it's underthrown, most likely he's got to go back through the defensive back and he'll get that pass interference call.
Yep. So 2nd down and 10 for Cass. Sadler, the bottom of your screen. One-on-one with Stennis for the moment. Pitch, right side, it's Sykes again. Will Sykes up the right side, and he's going to be a few yards shy of the first down, but a healthy gain. They like this ground game, and if it's got to be a wide receiver jet sweep, why not?
Yeah, why not? And that's the exact play they ran coming at us. They just flipped it and ran it the other way, and it's worked both times to get them. I believe it was 9 yards the first time and 7 yards that time. It's a really interesting play with the quarterback opening up one way and then pitching it back the other. Nice little deception.
Little counter tray.
Yeah,
not exactly what the 1985 Washington Redskins drew up as a counter tray, but a modernized version. Sykes again, this time tackled for a loss. On that outside, coming up was Christian Wheeler, the sophomore linebacker, and it's decision-making time for Marvin Rushing and the technicians.
Yeah, you see here, just kind of going to the well a couple too many times, and Martin Luther King was having none of that. Number 5, Jaden Winden. Big stop.
Safety coming up. Some heat. We'll also have some scores from around the league coming up at halftime, along with Jay Alexander, Director of Athletics.
Is there a better guy than Jay Alexander?
No, we love having the Skip in our booth, and we thank him for having us selected to do this outstanding classic of a game. The battle for Detroit. Sendry right side, got a man, caught, first down. That's Sadler. And when you need a first down, you need a money play, Corey Sadler's there to answer it most times.
Yeah, and what you got to respect is his speed, right? So as a defensive back, you need to play off. And if he's only running a 3-yard curl route, that's almost indefensible, because if you come up and press him too soon, you're smoked right off the line of scrimmage. So that was a good play call by Marvin Rushing.
Certainly was. Dave Malecki, the offensive coordinator, former Melvindale head coach for the technicians. Terrell Patrick, the OC for the Crusaders of King. So Cass has come back and really answered the drive, the scoring drive of King. 1st and 10 from the 23. 2:10 left until halftime. Handoff right side, it's 23, and it's a late hit. Ball carriers Jalen Spates, tackled by Dwayne Dickerson, the linebacker, but it's a personal foul against King, and the crusade of Cass Tech continues.
Yeah, here you see it. Great job. We always talk about it, making sure you got contained, but when you're 3-4 yards and you're riding them out of bounds and shove them down, that's going to get flagged every single time. And Martin Luther King, that's another huge penalty that has only helped Cass Tech stay in this game.
So Double D with a penalty, and 5 penalties now in this game for King, and it's really hurt him. Cass trying to finish the drive. 2 minutes left. Sendry in at quarterback still. Handoff again. Right side. Near the sideline. Gain of about 5 yards. The hand was to Jalen Spates. Tackled out there by Chauncey Freeman. Timeout on the field. We'll take it with him. 1:50 left until halftime. Cass trying to go for the game-tying score. Glad you're with us for the Battle of the City on Gridiron Game Day.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game, I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
We're not ready, bro. Drop it, let it go. Welcome back, Chad and Stick. Matty Miller on the sidelines. Second out and goal to go. Sentry back to pass over the middle and intercepted in the end zone. Cass Tech intercepted King in the end zone, and now the Crusaders return the favor. Damon Stennis with a pick. And the corner with a big-time play, and the Crusaders with another turnover force.
Well, Martin Luther King's been playing with fire all night long. Big penalties. You see that, 6 penalties for 59 yards. But when you got a big playmaker like that can make up for it all, it definitely takes some pressure off you. What a diving interception. Saw the slant route coming and just jumped the route. Wow, what an interception.
They were trying to get Lamont Wilcoxon on the slant, and you said it, Stennis stepped in front of it. That's doing your study. That's doing your schoolwork. Yep. That's knowing routes and knowing where things are going, and Sendry might have guided it just a little bit.
Well, and that's with a young quarterback sometimes. You stare down the wide receiver that you want to go to, because he was open for a split second, but that window closed in a hurry.
So King will take over and try to perhaps extend their 7-0 lead. 1:42 left until halftime. Nate in the gun, play action. Gonna run it, he can run. He'll have about 4 before he's forced out of bounds by Victor Polk. And there you see a little bit of the mobility of Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, listen, Dante Moore was a special guy, right? You're not going to replace that foot speed, that arm accuracy, and just that leadership that he has. But I like he's keeping his head down the field. He's being poised in the pocket. And most importantly, he didn't turn the ball over there trying to make a play that wasn't there.
Yep. Although he's not experienced here, he is a senior. It is an older fella. And that does help and go a long way, especially against an inexperienced Cass team. Handoff up the middle. It's been a solid run game for King. This time it's Michael Dukes, the sophomore. Good size, 6'1", 185. King has shown that they've got some depth at running back. Ho hum, another year for King and another plethora of running backs. Another run up the middle. This King Crusader offensive line grinds out a first down. Move the chains.
That's where I was going to go after this play. Ho hum, another running back. You know how running backs get to be able to be great running backs? That offensive line, and I'm talking Jameer Henry, Ezekiel Bradley Lewis, Jeremiah Powers, Ramsey Stevens, and Tashawn Lund. They have done a good job dominating up front, because once they found that running game, it changed their whole offense.
Really has. It set up that play-action touchdown. Edwards looking to go deep, in trouble, evades pressure, and now throws it away. Something that's a bit underrated these days, throwing the ball away.
But it's the right play. I mean, you saw Tom Brady do it his whole career. You saw Peyton Manning do it his whole career. You see Patrick Mahomes do it now. It's okay to live for the next down.
It is 59 ticks left. Another look at the Edwards decision.
But here it is. Watch his eyes. He's keeping his eyes down the field the whole time. A lot of quarterbacks just put their head down, will tuck and run in that situation. He's still looking to make a play.
Edwards,
what a catch by the guy with the bow tie.
Oh, how about it?
We get a lower third on him?
Yeah. Look at, he's down here. He's got his hat on.
He was here pregame having a good time. I know that.
Well, he's paid his dues. There's a deep throw on the left side, and that's just a little bit too long. Pretty trying to get Matthews deep. It was a nice looking ball. He's showing off that noodle.
He could throw that ball, man. That was a nice tight spiral from one hash mark on the right all the way to the sideline on the left. That's some arm strength right there.
So far on the night for Edwards, 3 of 8 for 64 yards and that touchdown. So it's a 3rd down and 10 for King. We'll see how they are conservative or not with 54 seconds left.
Smell screen coming.
Yep. Trio to the right. Edwards looking right. Got a man and incomplete. Beautifully broken up, but a flag is coming. It was broken up by the Cass Tech secondary. That was Jalen Howell, but they said he might have came in just a bit early, Stick.
I'll have to get a look at it on replay here. It's tough to tell. I mean, it's a bang-bang play. But Cass Tech gets called for the pass interference, and Martin Luther King had done their job helping out Cass Tech. Now Cass Tech kind of returning the favor here late in the first half.
Nate was trying to find Deontay Ellington, the 5'9 sophomore. Again, a lot of new faces in the wide receiver crew. 49 seconds left. Curl route, same result, this time no PI.
Yeah, Jalen Howell, great close on that play. That should have been a reception. I mean, he had that ball pretty much in his hands, but Jalen Howell able to come in and punch it out at the last second. That is great closing, great read.
Howell saying no PI that time.
No, sir.
Just clean. So midfield for King, 44 seconds left.
I like how King's staying aggressive, don't you?
Yeah.
They could very easily take a knee, go into halftime, up 7-0, be happy with it. But Ty Spencer's got something else cooking.
Shows how much Terrell Patrick and Ty Spencer trust the senior quarterback Edwards.
That's very true.
6'4", 205, low snap, good hands again. Pressure from the backside, steps up and throws just a bit low. He's trying again to target Deontay Ellington.
Big number 41 for Cass Tech. I don't have him on my sheet here, but he was in the backfield causing all types of havoc. Here he comes off the edge, then number 7 and 41 up the middle. Tough to complete a pass.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming from that Cass defense.
No Bishop.
Coley Robinson, the defensive coordinator for Cass Tech. Timeout, King. That's their second timeout taken. We'll take a timeout with them. 39 ticks left from 3200 Lafayette. We're the Prep. Gridiron Game Day rolls on right after this.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Thanks so much for watching. If you'd please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching on our YouTube. Subscribe, like. There's our social medias. We'd love for you to join as a sponsor. Info at theprepsports.com. There's a fumbled snap, low snap, and Edwards is going to live to see another day. There was heat coming from John Baker IV, and all kinds of things that could have gone wrong again, but senior poise is seen through.
Yeah, no, we've mentioned that he's a young quarterback a couple times in pregame, and that's what Coach told us, but we have seen a lot of maturity just on this drive alone. That's a panic play sometimes. You see that ball hit the ground. Sometimes you make too much happen, but nope. Calm, collected. We'll punt. Probably out of bounds because we don't want to return and just call it a half.
Cass Tech has called a timeout, and why not? They do want to get it into the hands of their dangerous return team. And
I'm not giving them the chance. I'm punting this out of bounds.
Sykes is back, and that's a shanker. And that's going to go out at about the 40. So here comes Cass Tech back out on the field. Short field. They do have a kicker in George Murillo Sanchez that knocked home a 44-yarder in week 1 into the win. So
yeah, well, last year, remember them telling us that that's the best kicker who's ever come through their school. So I'd love to see what he can do now as a sophomore. We could tell they were trying to angle it out of bounds. It was a little too much of an angle.
So now the other school of thought, if you're Marvin Rushing, is maybe you don't want to get cute here and maybe you just want to go into halftime and take a knee. But here comes Sendry and here comes the offense. We'll get a key look here on what they're going to intend to do.
Yeah, I'm sure this first play will tell it all.
Sendry, middle screen, caught. Gain of about 8 up to about the 47-yard line. Sadler with a catch, 22 seconds left. Sendry, right sideline, caught, out of bounds. Sadler at the 44. What do you get? What do you have to get here yardage-wise with 10 seconds left?
I mean, if you're saying that their kicker can knock down a 44-yard field goal, that means what? You got to be about the 27-yard line, so you're looking for about 15 more yards on this play. So you got 10 seconds. You know, you could probably get another 10, 5, 7 with another quick route like that, and maybe a Hail Mary.
Cass is out of timeouts. And so they've got to work the sideline, which causes another concern. So here we go. Sadler all alone on that right side at the top of your screen. Sendry in the gun. 8 seconds left. Sendry into the pocket, steps up, looking downfield, and incomplete. Had a man in Wilcoxon, but it was more towards the sideline instead of down the middle of the field.
Yeah, not sure if the wide receiver was able to see that ball and track it really well. You saw him look back over his left shoulder at the end. As if he sees that out of a hand, that could have been a touchdown.
Could have been. He did get behind the defense. So this will be the old Hail Mary with 3.5 seconds left.
But I like that strategy by Cass Tech. You know, you probably couldn't get into field goal range, but you give yourself 2 shots at a Hail Mary with that time left from this field position. So smart use of time.
Let's get Maddie and the crew ready to get head coach Ty Spencer. All right. Yeah, we'll buy some time up here, and then we'll throw it to her after she gets thrown a break. 3 wide receivers to the left, 3.5 seconds left for Sendry and the technicians from the 45. Pressure, Sendry in trouble, throws, caught, knocked out of bounds. Couldn't tell over across the way, incomplete. And that is the end of the first half. A defensive battle between King and Cass Tech. Both teams desperate for a win. We saw both teams revved up for this one and showed some promise in half number 1.
I'm ready for the second half. I think it's going to be there's going to be some good adjustments made at halftime. You know, both these head coaches will come up with something special. And I really haven't seen anybody go into their bag of tricks yet. That's what I'm waiting for. So get ready for a big second half here in downtown Detroit.
All right, we'll have Maddie Miller with King head coach Ty Spencer in just a moment. Right now, 7-0 King at the half. And let's send it down to Maddie Miller with King head coach Ty Spencer. Maddie?
Coach, you got the lead going into the half. What is the message to the team in the locker room?
Just to continue to play. You know what I mean? Continue to execute. We're playing really good defense. We got to continue to execute on offense and make some big plays. You know, I'm looking for some big plays this week. We had a pretty young team, but it's time for them to step up and grow up. But I like where we're at right now.
You know, earlier this week you told us this is a must-win game for you guys. Is there any changes you need to make in the second half to make that a possibility?
No, I think we just need to clean up some of the penalties. Some of the kids are emotional, excited, and we just got to make sure we play a cleaner game.
Thank you, Coach. We'll be back after the break.
Thank you very much, Maddie Miller.
Bank make you feel like you belong there? At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, you are a member of a financial institution that serves the Catholic community, providing you with an opportunity to align your banking with your Catholic identity. You receive all the products and services you need to manage your money, and your membership helps support Catholic schools, parishes, and organizations. It's time to put your money where your faith is. Visit AllianceCatholic.com to get started today. Service, community, Catholic. Alliance Catholic Credit Union. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Lowering the shoulder.
swing and a miss.
McKinley scores!
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
If your company wants to make the turn to the next level, make sure you contact Make the Turn, an award-winning digital marketing firm based right in Metro Detroit. Founded by Mike Sullivan and Kyle Bogey in 2019, they've quickly grown to a full team of professionals who create custom marketing solutions to help your team grow their business. Maybe you have a great marketing department and want to get just 10% better, or maybe you're a business owner who wants a marketing director without the full-time salary. It's worth visiting MakeTheTurn.com and checking out all their great examples and reviews. They can help with content creation, digital advertising, or even just optimizing your social media and web presence. Visit MakeTheTurn.com to schedule a free consultation and to see how they can help your company make the turn to the next level. Welcome back to Detroit King High School. 7-0 Detroit King on top of Cass Tech in the Battle of the City here in Week 4 on Gridiron Game Day. We could not do this without the support of the Detroit Public School League and their athletic director, Jay Alexander, who's been good enough to join us. Jay, thanks for having us back for yet another PSL Classic. And this one looks like it's well on its way to becoming and living up to the billing to what we're used to seeing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and it's doing a good job of living up to that piece. So we're excited to have you, Chad. We're excited to have the prep because you guys do a first-class job, and it's an ESPN production. And so our kids really benefit from everything that you do, and our coaches love it as well. So we can't thank you guys enough for being here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that very much. Jay, it's been an exciting fall already. I know just 4 weeks in, but what's the outlook in this fall season for the PSL and for what you guys are looking to accomplish after such an amazing fall year last year with a state title by Detroit King and, of course, all the other accomplishments in DPSL athletics?
Well, it looks great. I mean, our student athletic population is up. Our numbers are higher. King brought in 120 kids. Cass has got 100+ kids. And it's trickling down around the entire district. So we're excited about that. Dr. Vitti and his leadership is leading us through the way to get, we're back in our standardized tests. We're growing there. So just all the little things that we're doing here in Detroit Public Schools. And athletics is just a carrot. Right, but they have to be doing it in the classroom, and that's what we're doing. And so I'm proud of our student athletes because they're able to do classroom work and then do field work. So that's what I'm excited about.
No doubt. This game sold out in about 7 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, is the excitement for this rivalry ever higher? And ironically, I mean, both teams, we know they've scheduled tough.
Yes.
Both teams losing records. I mean, this isn't like both teams came in 3-0 on top of the. I mean, just the magnitude. Does that just speak to how hungry this league is and how hungry this area is for strong athletics and competition and rivalry?
Yes, that speaks to it all, Chad. And I'll tell you, the most impressive thing about these two teams is they're young, right? They graduated a lot of seniors last year, so they're going to take some lumps, but then they're going to get better, and they're going to vie for a state championship and a PSL championship. So this is, what we need to see to come, and this is a great opportunity. Like a lot of people, count King out for this game, and now look what happened. I mean, and they're up 7-0 on a really good team, but they're both still young. So now as that rivalry piece is over with, now it's just like, hey, we got to get back to football. So now we're going to see the second half. What's the real deal, right?
We've seen the real deal here. What a beautiful facility and what you all have been able to do to this field, the new turf.
Yes.
And really giving praise to this field and this program.
Absolutely.
Take us through some of the projects you're most proud of and prides, point prides that you've seen throughout this year and some that are planned.
Well, I'm most proud of, our other fields and our grass fields that are being manicured and taken care of to perfection. I'm excited about the track and the new football fields, but I'm excited about as a whole, right? Not just this field. So I'm excited that we are starting to put some oomph, if you will, into all of our facilities and not just one or two. So there's more to come on the Cass side, more to come on whoever side, but what we are really digging deep and trying to do more things for everybody, not just one school.
It's a pleasure to have you. It's always fun to be down here in this atmosphere. I know there's some nice things going on across the league and across trying to get more facilities and such. It's always a challenge, but trying to get a indoor facility down here and get something going really could put this district over the edge. Those plans still in the works?
Absolutely. That's my great big BHAG, I call it. My hairy, audacious goal, right? And so that's the goal. And where it comes, I don't know. When it comes, I don't know. But that's one of the things that I'm going to try to put my hat on here sometime down the road because these kids deserve it. They deserve every single thing that you see in the suburbs. And unfortunately, our district is tied a little bit because of the fact that we have 94 schools, 20 high schools, 16 football schools, and we just don't have one field, right? And that's where the suburbs have the advantage of. They only have 1 or 2 schools. We have 16. So that makes it very, very difficult to spread the wealth, and then you spread it too thin, you have nothing left anyway, and it's just like you trickling dollars here, you trickling dollars there. So the goal is to try to find some philanthropic individuals who's going to come in and help us lead and be a leader in that and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here is what, sit down at the table. So we got some things coming in up, and hopefully I can get some things done.
If someone wants to contribute, wants to be a part of some of these movements and the growth, how can they get involved?
Well, we also have a foundation too, and they can go through athletics. But call me, email me at james.alexander@detroitk12.org, or just call me on my cell phone, 313-686-1523. And your little money will go a long way, right? And it's about extending olive branches, right? We don't want all your money. We want your resources so you can extend more olive branches to other people to get their resources to come in. And then now we have a big pot of resources, and that's the goal.
Thank you for your growth and partnership and allowing us to try to promote these student athletes that have done such great things, including this example in front of us. Detroit King, back-to-back state champions. Cass Tech, state champs in basketball last year. A lot of really exciting times. Thanks so much for leading this league back to where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
And thanks for letting us be a small part of it.
For sure. And your help is going to help our growth. And make no mistake about it, we ain't there yet, Chad. So we need to do some more
All right, there he is. That's Jay Alexander, Director of Athletics for the Detroit Public School League. 7-0 King at the break over Cass Tech. Much more to come, including some highlights from the first half, some stats, and some scores from around Detroit. We're back after this.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McKinley scores!
Christian, get up!
All right, game day don't start Friday. Let's get it, baby. Good job, boy.
Ready, go!
Welcome back on Gridiron Game Day. Chad and Stick with you. 7-0 King over Cass Tech. Some scores to get to. We'll try to get Marvin rushing momentarily. Romeo with a 17-7 lead over Eisenhower, start of the third. Clarkston with a 7-3 lead over Stony Creek. We'll have Stony Creek in a couple of weeks right here on the prep. Rochester Adams, 25-0 over Oxford in the third. Chelsea with a 7-6 advantage over Ypsilanti. Waterford Mott 27, Woodhaven 20. Waterford Kettering 21, South Lyon East 14. Dakota 14, Stevenson 7, Lakeview 17, Utica 13. And that is all the first half scores. Let's get to some highlights of the first half. Stick, take us through what went down in the first frame.
Yeah, well, it was a defensive battle early. You see C.J. Sadler putting it on the ground there. Martin Luther King taking over, getting the possession in close to their end zone, about the 28-yard line. And then, of course, you see, C.J. Gardner-Johnson just got announced in here at the station, or the field, they're going nuts. But you see a good return here by number 3 for Cass Tech, Derek Johnson the second. And then a big sack. This is when Martin Luther King started dialing up their pressure. But King was able to find their run game late in the first half, and that set up a lot. Here's a quick little screen pass. This was probably the biggest play of the game for Jamar Davis.
All right, while we have a moment, let's go down to the field. Maddie is with head coach Marvin Rushing. Maddie?
Coach, down 7 going into the half. What is the message to the team at halftime?
Right now, we're all right. We just shot ourselves in the foot. We're about to rally right here. We'll go ahead and take this game in the second half.
Now, what is the plan to overcome the defense going into the second half?
Right now, we have some things we hadn't shown right now that we will run in the second half. I'm confident that we're going to move this ball and put it in his zone.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Chad.
All right. Thank you very much, Maddie. There you heard it from Marvin Rushing. Very confident.
Very
Marvin Rushing-like.
I love his cadence. I love how he carries himself. And there you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson rocking the King gear right here tonight. Lions players, you love to see it, supporting the city. But yeah, Marvin Rushing is a great interview. He had one of the all-time interviews after last game, Cass Tech versus King, and we asked Coach Ty Spencer if that kind of motivated him, because he had some choice words about what happened on the field, and Ty Spencer was really saying, players, I'm not going to use it to motivate them, but my coaches know all about it from last year, and they tried to use that as some motivation to come into this game, and it's paid off in the first half with a 7-0 lead.
It has. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. It's been the ground game that has worked well for King. 98 yards on the ground, 14 attempts. Stick, you've talked about the rush attack being important, and overall they lead it in plays 162 yards to 54 over Cass Tech. They've been able to get loose on the rush, and I know there's been a couple of players that have stood out.
Yeah, Edwards is one of them. He's 3 rushes for 40 yards, averaging 13 yards a carry.
But that'll happen when you have a 44-yard run. And then Rodgers is the one, to me, that came in the game and absolutely changed the whole complexity of this game. He was able to establish a drive there, and they were able to play off that, get the play-action pass for the touchdown.
All right. We are getting set for second half. Cass Tech and King. It'll be King football. They deferred to the second half. And look, we saw a very purposeful drive. Cass Tech moving it down. King with an interception in the end zone. And we saw the script flipped with King driving, and Cass picked it off. That was inside the red zone as well.
Yeah, and that's been the case. Penalties and turnovers so far have dictated a lot of this game. And, you know, if you're Cass Tech, you get the ball all the way down there. You're so close. And then what an absolute great interception by Damon Stennis, undercutting on the slant pass. It was really, really great defense. But, you know, Martin Luther King's been playing great defense this entire game. Obviously, when you have a big goose egg up on that scoreboard, it's something to be proud of.
All right, getting set for the second half. Reminder, next week we'll have Detroit Catholic Central and Warren De La Salle. Next week from Wayne State and Tom Adams Field. King on top 7-0 over Cass Tech. And what do you look for adjustment-wise second half, Stick? Both teams, give me one that you think needs to happen.
Well, you know, I was excited to hear Marvin Rushing talk about that we haven't seen everything that they're going to do for Cass Tech, because right before half I was like, we haven't seen any trick plays. We haven't seen any deception yet, and I'm hoping to see some tricks coming out of the bag. And then if you're Martin Luther King, if you can cut out those penalties, you should be dominating this game. I mean, they have 6 penalties for 59 yards in the first half, and it gave a lot of life to Cass Tech on some of those drives.
They sure did. Penalties, a big part of it. And we'll see how both teams come out here in this second half. I want to tell you about our friends at Success Mortgage Partners. Success Mortgage Partners, in today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. At Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. We want you to have an experience of a lifetime. Navigating a turbulent market like this needs to be handled by a real professional. So call Todd Barr today, 734-674-6154, and put 20 years of local knowledge to use for you and your family. Success Mortgage Partners Incorporated supports equal housing opportunity at MLS ID number 130562. So it'll be George Sanchez Murillo to boot it off for Cass Tech. And back deep is Kevon Matthews for King. Beautiful night for football. Glad you're with us in the city of Detroit.
Love it. Both sidelines are hopping right now. The energy has not died off since we got here at 6 o'clock this evening.
No. Kick to the 20. Taken up the right sideline. Shifting fields. Cross. Damon Stennis. Ball loose. Cass Tech says they have it.
And they do.
And they do at the 40-yard line. A forced fumble on the kickoff. And the technicians strip, rip, and pounce on that fresh new turf.
And there are some penalties on the play, so you wonder if this is going to take the fumble back or if it's going to go in Cass Tech's favor, because people are getting lit up all over this field. Look, there's a little hold right there that you see.
Penalties declined. Ball was stripped out. Cass Tech will take over. So,
huge.
Sendry in this offense coming out after they were shut out of the end zone. It's really an offense that, yeah, they got on track last week. Yeah, there was some things, but Renaissance is Renaissance, a solid team, but this is their chance to really show out. They got to feel disappointed after that first half and a lot to prove.
Yeah, that was a huge interception in the red zone, but like Rushing said, we're going to see some things we didn't see in the first half.
We'll see what those are. We've seen a few running backs in there. Hendricks, the freshman, along with Spates and Summerhour. And Sykes, this man, up the left sideline. Sykes puts a shoulder down and gets inside the 30, down to the 26. Gain of 15 And their most impressive rusher today has been Will Sykes Jr.
Yeah, nice blocking by everybody on Cass Tech. Big number 5 on the edge got a nice block to seal it and was able to get around there. And that's what you want to see if you're Cass Tech. Work on that blocking. And they had a tough time getting to the edge on that play. It paid off.
That's big Antonio Tate, the tight end at 6'2", 230. So Sykes will stay in behind the quarterback Sendry in the gun. Get the pitch right side. And this time he's hemmed in. Spins back and nowhere to go. Staying in his lane and staying in position to make the play was Jaden Wyndham, the safety, whose name we've called quite a bit tonight, partner.
Yeah, he's done a great job in that safety role. And the run is when we're calling his name. So that means he's crashing hard. He's got that Troy Polamalu hair coming out of the helmet. And watch him just crash here. But this is the entire defense pursuit. Great way to wrap him up and tackle at the end.
Yeah, the contain of that edge.
Yeah, it's been very important. It's always important in football, but it seems like it's more important in these games when you have these supreme athletes that can get to the outside.
That's it. Tight formation now for Cass. Sendry in the shotgun in a 2nd down and 12.
Looks like they're going to double Sadler at the bottom of the screen.
And now a reshift. So Sadler will go far right solo.
They have safety help over the top.
And now too much time. Delay a game and too much tinkering sometimes equates to overload. And overload equals a delay of game.
Yeah, and it's always tough to shoot yourself in the foot. They actually had a similar situation to this in the first half, too, where it was 2nd and 12, and we were talking, if they pick up 6 here, they'll still be on schedule. Now you're back at it. It was 2nd and 12, now 2nd and 17. Now you're just hoping to get back to 3rd and 10.
That's it. Catholic Central leads St. Mary's 16-7 in the 4th quarter. With about 9.5 to go. Pitch left side. And not much there. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2. Helmet off. Ball was carried by Carson Lovett, and a gang tackle in black and gold for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that was just a busted play from the beginning. You saw the quarterback kind of look the other way, expecting his running back to be there, Seth Sendry, but then he had to toss it back the other way, and by that time, the defense closed.
We've seen 6 different ball carriers for Cass Tech. And I mean, we're used to seeing Cass settle on a couple guys, maybe 1 or 2, but their best option has been Sykes, who's really a split end.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're trying things and trying to figure it out, but definitely you would like to rely on one bell cow.
So 4 wide and a 3rd and 17, motion left to right from Howell. And now a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. 9:12 to go. In this 3rd quarter, Cass trying to dial up something special. We're back to Detroit in a moment.
Christian, get up.
All right, game day don't start Friday. Let's get it, baby. Good job, boy.
Ready, go.
And the Technicians, 1 and 2 on the year under Marvin Rushing. Trying to get something going here on 3rd and 17. And look, this is a team that went to the semifinals a year ago. A 1 and 2 start, tough competition. We know they played some of the best. And Stick, this is a club, though, that has had some notable seasons in their past.
Oh, yeah, state champions in 11, 12, and 16. You know, the alumni that are in the NFL, Jordan Lewis, and, of course, Big Sean, one of my favorite Detroiters to ever come out of this city. Guy does so much for this everybody here.
Reverse double pass. Sadler going to step up, going to run it. Has some room up the middle as a first down and more inside the 5. Touchdown, C.J. Sadler. And this game's an extra point away from being all knotted up.
Well, that's what we've been waiting for on 2 levels, Chad. One, we talked about a trick play coming out here in the second half. They go with a wide receiver pass. And then, of course, the other thing we've been talking about is Corey Sadler in space. Watch him pull it down and just blow by everybody else. Now, it's just him trying to figure out what angle to take to get into the end zone. What a great shot by our camera crew, too.
31-yard touchdown run for Sadler. Improv at its finest, and CJ was up for the test. So here comes the extra point attempt by George Sanchez Murillo. And that is blasted into the Detroit night. It's good. It's a late hit. They'll move them up on the extra point on the kickoff. And Cass Tech with a drive and an answer of their own.
I'm just sitting here smiling watching the kicker after he got hit. He was jawing at Martin Luther King. And you love that. You normally don't see kickers jawing like that, but my goodness, he was letting them know, don't touch my leg. That thing's valuable.
That's right. So Cass Tech answers, and Corey Sadler from 31 yards out. Let's get another look back at the technicians.
Yeah, notable alumni Jordan Lewis. We were talking about him. He graduated in 2013. Went to University of Michigan, then went on to play for the Cowboys, and is still with the Cowboys to this date. Last year they went 9-4, but don't let that fool you. Like we said, they started out 1-3. Then they they lost to King, and that's what sent them on their winning streak. 8 wins.
So the answer and the drive for Cass Tech, it was a 4-play drive, 41 yards. Remember that short field. And it took 2 minutes, 56 seconds, and a Corey Sadler 31-yard run after it was a reverse setup to throw it. But Corey just tucked it and did Corey C.J. Sadler type things. But stick, it was all set up with that short field.
Yeah, I mean, that big turnover on the kickoff coming out here in the second half, that totally swayed momentum. And Cass Tech, to their credit, took advantage of it. You know, they've had a couple of those moments early in the game that they weren't able to push it into the end zone. But on that play, Rushing was talking about it at halftime. We're going to see something special that we didn't see in the first half, and I think we just saw it.
The extra point collision with a kicker, George Murillo Sanchez, is going to put Cass Tech in a spot where, heck, Murillo might just put it through the uprights. He kicked a 44-yarder into the wind back in week 1 in the 29-27 heartbreaking last-second loss to Southfield A&T.
And whenever you can have a kicker at the high school level, it is such an advantage. There's so many schools that don't have a reliable kicker, and when you can get those 3 points, it helps you in many situations.
We haven't always seen both teams offer a kicker that can knock home extra points.
Yeah.
And that has come down. 2 fumbles in this game, or 2 turnovers in this game for King, and 1 has cost him. Cass Tech also has turned it over once. But the opening kickoff for the second half fumble, Cass Tech has cashed in. So the kickoff is a short one left side, and King is going to get out to the 41 somehow. Oh, what a return. The return by, I think, Jonathan Patterson took it up. And a fine return on the play.
I like the idea, just didn't get enough air underneath it, and then it turned into a very returnable. You make one guy miss, all of a sudden you're up the sideline. I thought at first the way he was approaching the ball, it was going to be an onside kick. And I thought, okay, that kind of makes sense. But Dante Ellington, nice return. Made that first guy miss and then shot up the sideline.
See, whenever anybody tries to get cute in the kicking game, it burns you. Just kick it into the end zone.
Yeah,
let him kick it. Edwards passes low, fine catch across midfield. It's a first down. And a gain of 12 And a pitch and catch, that's Tayshawn Henry Johnson, who had the touchdown reception, his second catch of the game, and King moves the chains.
Yeah, once again, King with a nice little rollout. I'm not sure if that was designed or not, but it was a good play. It gave you a little bit of extra time to throw the ball. It looks like we got a timeout on the field. We are going to take a break with him. Victor Polk is down right now. We'll get an update on him when we come back.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Yeah, we want to thank our food sponsor tonight. It's a special one, Pizza Cat. Boy, did Pizza Cat show out. You can catch them with their locations on East 4th Street in Detroit, and also their newest location on Greenfield and Oak Park. What was your favorite Pizza Cat pizza tonight? We got 5 delicious opportunities.
Well, you know, I got to first say, I'm a little disappointed in the prep staff. So when I rolled up, the pizza had already been here for a while, and they're like, there's this one pizza with sauerkraut on it. We're not really sure. I opened the box. It's a Reuben pizza. And it was the most delicious thing I'd ever had.
Thank you. I knew you would love the Reuben
one. It was amazing.
I ordered it. I got looked at like I had 3 eyes.
No.
I mean, even worse than usual.
Every time, order that Reuben pizza.
Ali Hadi complained. He said it wasn't halal, and I apologize. I can't make everybody happy.
But they had a chicken pizza that was really good with some peppers on it.
That was the Luigi.
Oh.
Handoff up the right side, or I think the wise guy.
Either way.
I'm just learning the menu. I've never heard of the place. I was overblown with their generosity.
And then their cheese sticks had rosemary on it. I thought I was fancy. I was like, this is the fanciest cheese stick I've ever had in my life.
And fish was complimentary of the chicken chunks.
And he is an aficionado.
He is.
He invented the chicken nugget dinner.
Oh, man. No Alex Westfall tonight. We're flying without our captain, but we appreciate Ali Hadi, who stepped into the seat nicely and riding and flying this thing into the Detroit cool air. Handoff left side, bottling his way through the middle of that offensive line. And that's Michael Dukes III, the sophomore. One of a pair of sophomores in that running back position.
Yeah, Dukes has looked good in this game. I mean, 4 carries for 26 yards. He kind of has established it. Now he's got the 5 carries for the 28 yards. But you look at Dukes and Rogers, those guys 10 carries combined, averaging about 6 yards a carry.
They've had to pick up the load a bit from some of the folks from a year ago that have now moved on. And this was a lot to replace at the running back position and others. So this is a 3rd and 3. Nate Edwards throws short right side and short. In fact, the tackle for loss.
Deontay Ellington. I like that play call. You know, we talked about getting your playmakers in space and letting them fall forward, especially when you've got a short yardage situation like that. But good job by the Cass Tech defense closing quickly and letting him get 0 yards after the catch. That yak will get you.
Oh, the old yak. It is a 4th and 4, and King looks like they might go for it. This is definitely a spot where you might hard count some folks.
Yeah, it is that kind of no man's land. Too long for a field goal. Punt will only gain you 15, 20.
Yeah. Edwards on a 4th down, going to throw it up and throw it away. Cass Tech shuts it down. Turnover on downs. And the King drive stalls in Tech territory. And we'll see if the technicians can't carry over some momentum.
Yeah, Cameron Summerhour absolutely brought the lumber on this play, forcing the quarterback for King to just throw the ball away. My goodness, did he come in and lay that wood.
Summerhour been all over the field. Marvin Rushing hinted. Well, he didn't hint. He stated. there was going to be a difference in the second half. There would be adjustments. There would be wrinkles. What have you seen so far?
Well, we just saw him get a little more creative offensively. You know, you're not going to be able to beat speed with speed at this game. So sometimes you got to use that creativity and let Martin Luther King over pursue.
Sendry in at quarterback. It's been a offense tonight. It's averaged just 3 yards a play for Cass Tech. And this time it's Corey Sadler with a few. Up to about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Sendry likes to drop back. I mean, on that play, he just kept dropping back and dropping back and dropping back. At some point, if you're not hitting your back foot and letting it rip, it's not going to wind up as a good play. You know, a lot of these wide receiver quarterback timing is a huge thing that you can work out. But, you know, when you're rotating in 2 quarterbacks, you don't always have that.
It's been Sendry most of the way since the mid-first quarter. 2nd and 10 here. Handoff, off right tackle, running room, and an explosive 9-yard run. Maybe the best run of the night. This is Spates. Found some room off that right side, and there are some giants up there led by Jalen Washington and Evan Gooden.
Yeah, Jaden Wyndham, if he doesn't hold on, this is a touchdown. You see him right there holding on for dear life. But if he doesn't make that tackle, that is gone for 6.
Spates now 7 rushes for 21 yards, but that's his longest of 9. Tied at 7, 5.5 left in the third. We'll have Maddie Miller at the end of the third. She'll talk to one of the finest in the academic services of the Detroit Public Schools. Sendry sends motion right. Spates again finds a hole, finds running room, has a first down and has about 7 yards. Cass Tech's starting to find a little bit in that running game that's been absolutely stagnant still.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at their totals. They have 76 yards on the ground. A lot of that came on that Corey Sadler scramble, so kind of 31 of them, you take that away. But Spates here in the second half, 8 rushes so far, 27 yards. He's starting to pick up some steam.
Really is. King led 7-0 at halftime. Thought they could have had more. Cass Tech with the first score coming out in the second half. Spates, right side, not much there. Shut down by that big black curtain and wall at the line of scrimmage.
I think number 55 was in there. Number 8 was in there. And who are they helping off the ground right now?
Marquise White along with Jalen Garrett.
And number 2, Dante Dooley. It's always tricky calling a Martin Luther King game because it looks like everybody is number 11 from the side with those 2 stripes.
It does, yes. Yes. Indeed it does. Second and 10. Play action, Sendry, left side, got it complete to Tate, and Tate will take it to the 34-yard line. A couple yards shy of the first down, or are they going to give him the first down? He's right at the marker, give him about a yard shy of it, 3rd and 1.
Well, looks like he's waving them.
They'll give him the first down.
Yeah, they'll give him the first down.
Little play action here, Stick.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was just going to say, kind of stealing a little bit out of the Martin Luther King playbook. You know, get your run established, and then you're able to run those. And that wasn't a huge play. It wasn't a bomb down the field, but you know what it was? It's something to get the linebackers thinking. It's something to get your linemen some momentum, and it's an easy, completable pass for your quarterback.
Gets him sort of that confidence.
The rhythm.
Keep moving. Hendricks, the freshman tailback to the left, is Sendry in the gun. Motion left to right by Antonio Tate. Give to Hendricks up the middle. Hendricks will fight for a couple.
You know Hendricks is tough. You know he is a tough guy because you see him out there and, you know, everybody's pretty much shoulder pads and helmets above him. But he's out there running hard. Look at it, he disappears.
Hiding behind that line, a shifty running back. Just played one play in the Week 2 ball game.
Left to right action.
Fine tackle by Dwayne Dickerson, double D coming over from that linebacker spot. We haven't necessarily seen the explosive plays we're used to seeing outside of that Sadler touchdown run. You're just kind of waiting for the electricity to enter into the building for this game.
Yeah, last year, you got to remember that Mumfield at quarterback, he had started for, 3 years?
Yeah.
And had a good handle of the offense. So both these teams are growing. False start.
And the maturity of Dante Moore on the other side. And there's staple of running backs and receivers.
Yeah, it's interesting how over the past 4 years, kind of the programs grew the same. Mumfield at quarterback growing into the senior leadership, Dante Moore growing into.
Right.
That's why those games were always so amazing because they kind of grew with each other, and that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing a young team where in a year or two from now, both these guys are going to be major state champion talk about.
No doubt. Mumfield at Ferris State, Dante Moore at UCLA doing big things. Second and 13 for Cass Tech.
Big number 55, wasn't it? Jalen Thomas last year for Cass Tech, too.
That's right.
Who went on to Michigan State.
Yeah.
There were some big players in this rivalry.
Walker, who will feature in a moment. It's down in Kentucky. Sendry on the pitch option, flag down. Sadler has it, has a first down up the right sideline and more inside the 20 to the 18. There is a flag down. And I think Cass Tech might be guilty of something here, perhaps a hold.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, too, for Cass Tech. Don't really see it there on the replay. But when you bring back a big play like that, that's a 15-yard forward and you're going 10-yard back. That's 25 yards. That's a quarter of a football field you just lost.
Yeah. Penalties have been a theme tonight. Both teams with 6 penalties. King has been penalized for nearly 60 yards. So this will back up Cass. And Marvin Rushing will note that one. And again, the decision by Sendry to pitch, get it into the hands of Sadler, and let him do Sadler-like things.
That's always a good option, right? I mean, you feed the hot hand. You feed the best athlete on the field, and that's what he is.
CJ goes wide right. Sendry in the gun. Handoff up the middle. This is Lovett again. Lovett has a couple. This is going to set up third down and long with about 2 minutes left in this third quarter.
If you're Cass Tech, this isn't the ideal drive, but you're milking the clock. You're bleeding it out. I know it's a tie game and you don't really have the lead, but as long as you're keeping yourself in the fight, you're giving yourself a chance to win. Big tackle there. Number 6, Dwayne Dickerson. He's had a couple hard hits this evening.
He has. Cass has the 2 longest drives of the ball game. Back-to-back possessions. That pass is bobbled and caught on the tip. Now they wave it incomplete. Thought the lineman had perhaps come over and grabbed it. 4th down and perhaps punting time for Marvin Rushing and the technicians here.
Yeah, you saw that right there. That's a very dangerous pass when it's getting juggled up like that, because sometimes you see those plucked out of air and gone for a pick 6.
Fine defensive play by Dante Dooley, the senior defensive back.
We've called his name a couple times.
Yeah. Dooley, a good-looking player out of that defensive backfield spot. Willie Fletcher, who has multiple high major offers, was questionable with a knee injury coming into this game. He was injured last week against Detroit Western. 4th and 15. Sadler back in at quarterback, and he will punt it away. A pooch kick that's going to go down inside the 5 and roll into the end zone. But it's not a bad punt and a pooch by Sadler, who seemingly does everything
I was
well.
going to say, what can't that kid do? And Daryl Flemster III, he's a freshman for Martin Luther King. You could see him tracking that over his head, too, like he was going to try to catch it and return it. Luckily, his teammates waved him off, and they were able to get the touchback.
Sadler set him up nicely. It's a hard play to execute, but that's a play where you feel like you get it down, you get it inside the 5, if you get a chance. Somebody's got to make a play on special teams to hold that thing in.
Well, and you're giving Sadler the option, too. Like, hey, you could pull that down and run it if you need to. You know, hey, if it's not there, just pooch kick it. If it is there, go ahead and take it.
That's right. So here comes Nate Edwards in the King offense. With 90 seconds left until the end of the third quarter. It's been a fast-moving quarter. Running game again by King. They'll try the middle, and they'll make some magic. A gain of 12. Carry by Michael Dukes III, his best carry of the ball game.
And this is when King has been at their best, when they're running, kind of reading the zone blocking, and then hitting that hole, planting the 1 foot and going right up. Ramsey Stevens there, too, as well, on the block.
King on the move. Nathan Edwards, the transfer from Canada, 6'4", hands it off again. And they find daylight up the gut.
Almost the same play. And almost run, like, if we could lay over 2 replays on top of each other, I'd almost guarantee that looked exactly the same. Same plant, same cut, same result.
Duke starting to get dirty on the new King turf. They'll go back to the bell cow, and he'll get shut down. Justin Wilson with a nice tackle.
John Baker. John Baker came in and cleaned it up, too.
Fine-looking player, John Baker, also plays on Steve Hall's basketball team. State champions are the technicians. There's another burst up the right side. And why not give it back to Deuce and let Dukes do what he does?
And he's been doing it the whole time, and it's just been straight downhill, too. And that's what we were talking about. You can try to beat athletes to the edge, but eventually you just got to go right at them. You know, I remember Brian Urlacher, the great linebacker for the Chicago Bears. He was great at tracking you side to side, but if you went straight at him, you know, tough time.
Dukes was brought up from the JV. Kid who was getting a lot of tackles broken on JV games. They said, come on up, young man. Come on up to varsity, and he has stood up to the test. That's the end of the third quarter. While we have a moment, let's go down to the field to Maddie Miller, who's with one of the PSL's finest in their academic institution.
I'm here with Angelique Peterson-Mabry, the president of the board of Detroit Public Schools. Angelique, tell me, what does a game like this mean to the community?
Oh, this is our biggest rivalry game. If you kind of think about Michigan State, this is that game with Cass and King. And, you know, to have over 1,500 people come out to the game to support these young guys out on the field, this is amazing. And, you know, not only do you have fans and students, but you have community people out today. So it's a great game for us. It's the game we look for all year.
Absolutely. And you even had a few Lions players out here today. Can you tell me a little bit about what they were doing out here?
Well, they actually came and they did a financial donation, and I think that speaks a lot to their character. They didn't have to do that. They could have made that donation anywhere, but yet they did it for Detroit Public Schools Community District, and a check was given to both of the schools. So we're really excited about that. And the fact that they came out, they actually may have seen some future Lions players out here on the field. I don't know.
Absolutely. Now, where can our fans and the people watching this go to learn more about the Detroit Public Schools?
So they can go to www.detroitk12.org. There are amazing things happening in Detroit Public Schools. You can find out so much academically, athletically, STEM, STEAM. Just go to the website. You'll find out. And you may enroll your young person in DPSCD.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add and tell everybody out there a little bit about Detroit Public Schools?
So we have a slogan that says, when students rise, we all rise. And we just received our M-STEP scores. We outpaced the state. So we're really excited about that. And our graduation rates went up by 8%. So I think we're rising. And that's really a testament to the dedication of the student, the staff, and the families for DPSCD.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Chad, back to you.
Outstanding job. Thank you very much, Maddie. We really appreciate that. Great interview.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a fumble on the play, and the technicians have forced another one. Noah Bishop forced the fumble, and the technicians get it back stick.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the Achilles heel for Martin Luther King. I mean, you take away turnovers and you take away penalties for King, and they should be dominating this game, but, that's why we play the game. Cass Tech is forcing these turnovers, and now we got a penalty on Cass Tech. They're moving the ball back, but Cass Tech is causing chaos here in the second half. Whatever Coach Rushing said to them at halftime has them fired up.
No doubt. Cass Tech has dominated time of possession in the second half. So the first play of the fourth quarter, a forced fumble. 7 minutes and 50 seconds, nearly 8 minutes, Cass Tech has had the football in the second half.
And 2:44 for Martin Luther King.
Yeah, and now Cass gets it right back. Thank you, guys. Pat the Stat and Austin Sonnenberg on stats today. Happy birthday to my father, Pat the Stat Bush. This is Sadler. Take it off. Left side. One man to beat. Flag is down. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cass Tech, Corey Sadler. There is a hanky on the field at the 30. And it looks like it's coming back, but the Sadler show continues from 3,200.
I just love watching this kid play football. They move him back into the quarterback position, so you get an extra blocker in front of him. Now watch this. Watch him turn around his defender. That's Barry Sanders-esque right there. He turned him around twice to get into the end zone. 51-yard touchdown called back, and you did see the holding on that. Well, if you want to play it again, it was probably about between the 20 and the 25-yard line. You could see a jersey stretch, but my goodness, what an exciting player to watch.
Man, Sadler already with a 31-yard touchdown run tonight for the only Cass score.
He had Daryl Flaumeister on his skates spinning around.
Oh, Sadler putting on a show. Had a touchdown against St. Joseph Regional in week 2. Did not play last week. They sat him out against Renaissance. And the blowout win against the Phoenix. And he gets that one called back. But the statement has been made, and we've seen a different Cass Tech team in the second half.
Yeah, and now they're switching quarterbacks again. Back to Sadler for this play.
Sadler in the gun. Hands off. Hendricks, the freshman. Needed 2. He got 3. First down, Cass Tech. Move the chains. Down to the King 37-yard line with a clock rolling. 11.5 left in this fourth quarter.
And that's what I was talking about last quarter as well. Like Cass Tech, even though they're not putting the ball in the end zone, they're perfectly happy right now keeping the ball out of Martin Luther King's hands. Milking the clock.
Dominating that time of possession. So, Sadler remains in at quarterback. Gonna keep it himself up the left side. Says, I'll try it again. Tries the middle. Tries outside the numbers and has a first down and more. Inside the 25 to the 23, gain of 15, move the chains. Sadler just saying, I'll do it myself. Get out of the way.
And that's what you like when he's at the quarterback position. Like I said, you get that extra blocker because, when your quarterback isn't running, you don't really have to account for him. But when you got another blocker with your running back heading out in front of him, you're going to get those big runs. And Jadon Wyndham able to bring him down, but not until he got the first down.
Evan Gooden with a great block out in front to spur him with a few. Down to the 24-yard line. Sadler left hash. Hendricks, the freshman tailback, to his left. Slot right, Tate, the tight end. CJ bottled up this time. Nowhere to go. Contained in the middle of that King defense. Might have lost a couple.
Yeah, Xavier Newsome was able to corral him, and you see Xavier Newsome right there. I'm glad to see he's back on the field after walking off with that little shoulder stinger. But watch him just hold, then attack. That's one thing with Sadler. Sometimes you can over-pursue and come at him because he's so quick. Just wait, be patient, let him come to you, and make the tackle. Easier said than done, though.
So, second down and 11.
Got the single coverage down at the bottom of the screen.
Kept by Sadler, left sideline, and gets out of bounds. Got what he could get. Live to see another day. It's plus yardage at the end of the day.
Yeah, but what's amazing about that play is that was not designed to go left. That was his vision that made that happen. Watch this replay. This is all designed to go right. If he's keeping it, he's going to go right. But no, he's able to see the wide open field to his left and go ahead, pick up those 7 yards.
So third down and about 4 for Sadler from the left hash. Going to keep it himself. Tries the middle, short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and about a yard with 9 minutes left. And nothing but go time ahead for Cass Tech, you can imagine here, Stick.
And you know who they're going to call, right? It's going to be number 1. I mean, it seems like they just decided, you know what, this drive, it's just going to be the Corey Sadler show, and that's what it's been. There it is.
Sadler, close. Does he have it? On 4th and 1, it's close. King thinks they stopped him.
We don't have
Might
an
require a measurement.
Yeah.
And it is a first down. Move the chains.
And this is the play that the Eagles have become famous for lately with Jalen Hurts. You know, just have him
push.
Yep, the Bush push from the USC game against Notre Dame way back in the day. But that's become a popular play in football. You wonder if eventually they may address that with the rules, but
yeah.
I don't see why you would. I mean, it's football. If our guys are stronger, go for it.
It's like the tug of war.
Yeah,
the Hogs go at it.
It's a scrum.
Yep. Tate will check out. Hendricks back in. The freshman tailback to the right. The Sadler in the gun. 1st and 10 from the 14. Hendricks left side gets throttled to the ground. Coming up hot for that outside backer spot. And that's Double D, Dwayne Dixon with a tackle, the senior at 6'1".
Yeah, Dickerson comes in and just absolutely throws him to the ground. And, you know, we talked about his stature. That's one thing. He absorbs hits well, but a guy can come in and throw you around like that. Spates, though, 152 pounds.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Hendricks to the left of Sadler. 2nd and 11. Sadler bouncing outside, nowhere to go. Got rode out of bounds and flung to the turf. Tackle by Dooley. Another Double D who's been disruptive tonight from the defensive spot.
Yeah, we've called Dooley's name a few times. He just came up and made sure that that play did not go into the end zone.
Tie ball game. Just under 7 minutes to go. We're tied at 7. In a sold-out game, it's sold out in 7 minutes. Big 3rd and goal coming here. 3rd and 6, they'll call it.
And it's obviously 4-down territory, right?
I think so. Well, I don't know.
Oh, they do have a kicker? Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough call there. So 3rd and mid. Hendricks to the right of Sadler in the gun. King trying to get a stop. Trying to get a turnover. Sadler, right side, caught to the 5 and driven back. It'll be 4th down and about a yard again. So another 4th and 1, and the decision-making is not envied by anybody in the stands right now.
So we're looking at 4th. It looks like where they marked them, about 2, maybe? 4th and 2.
Yeah, you might be right. 4th and 2, and it looks like they are lining up.
This may just be to trying to get them to jump off sides.
Yeah, Sadler under center. And he fumbles a snap, recovers, and I don't think he got it. I don't know.
No.
King thinks they stopped him. It was a botched snap. And no official call yet. It's stopped on downs. King with a stop inside the 5-yard line. And there's another look at it, Stick.
Oh, if you're Cass Tech, you just shot yourself in the foot. My goodness. And we were talking about it. They have one of their best field goal kickers that they said they've ever had in school history. They could have gone up 10-7 with 5 minutes left in the game. I honestly think they were trying to draw him off sides at first. It didn't look like Corey Sadler was ready for the second cadence. King fans going absolutely crazy right now, right in front of us. They are having a good time here.
So a turnover on downs with 5 minutes to go at the 5-yard line, and both teams have just inside the red zone not been able to execute and finish, but stand-up defenses on both ends.
I mean, think about that. Martin Luther King has, what, 2 or 3 takeaways inside the 10-yard line. I'm not talking red zone. I'm talking 10-yard line.
That's an extra bright highlighter. Tied at 7, a defensive beauty, a Picasso. Oh, where's that pizza cat when you need it?
It's in my belly, all of it.
Oh, you got the rest of it? I wanted to lick the bottom of that Reuben pizza pan. There's a give up the middle, and that's a gain of about 5. It's been a King rushing attack that's been sent to the sidelines in the second half. Just have not had a lot of time to work. Nathan Edwards with a chance here to really prove something in a rivalry.
Yeah, I'm looking for the total time of possession. 31 minutes, 29 seconds for Cass Tech. 10 minutes for Martin Luther King.
And the yardage is the other way. You look at what they've done per play. King has doubled up Cass Tech in the yardage department. So it'll set up a 3rd and mid here. And a critical play for King in their own territory. Again, you don't want to be too risky here, Stick, but you also don't want to give the ball back to Cass on a short field.
Yeah, you got to figure if you're Martin Luther King, you're going to get 1, maybe 2 more possessions during this regulation. They seem to be okay. It looks like they're going to take a timeout to talk it over.
We'll take a timeout with them. 4:13 to go from Detroit. The Battle of the City. On Gridiron Game Day, we're the Prep. Thanks so much for watching. Back after these.
Christian, get up.
All right, game day don't start Friday. Let's get it, baby. Good job, boy.
Ready, go.
Well, the King Crusaders. The King Crusaders 1-2 state champs 6 times over, including back-to-back state title holders. Notable alum Sauce Gardner. How about Sauce and his big contract he signed last year, the former 4th overall pick of the New York Jets? Sada baby, Casada Sorrell, a proud alum, 2010 grad, and we talked to him last year on the sidelines.
Sada's the man.
He is. 3rd and 4 for King.
Sada loves sports. You see him at Pistons stuff. You see him at Lions stuff. That's a cool thing about this city, man.
Yeah.
Nothing else like it.
So it's Sada baby against Big Show.
I don't think they're against each other.
No. Tonight they are.
Tonight
they are.
King. Yes.
Bubble screen left side caught outside the numbers, and it's a 1st down and more for King. Up to the 20-yard line, a gain of 8. And a pitch and catch that time to Jamar Davis, who's been special in space tonight.
Yeah, he's had some big plays this evening. But I like that play by Cass Tech, getting the first down, because if they give the ball right back, or if they give the ball, I like that play for King, because if they give the ball right back to Cass Tech, they may be in some trouble here. But King's got some momentum now. They'll keep going.
3 catches, 67 yards now for Davis. Watch out up the right side. Another first down before he's flung down by Marcus Jennings. And that is Josh Rogers, who's back in there. What a dynamic duo of sophomores, with Rogers in the backfield along with their other sophomore. So that'll move it up to the 42-yard line. Now a timeout. The other sophomore, Michael Dukes. So it's been Dukes and Rogers, a couple of 10th graders. Get a look at the Cass Tech timeout, and Marvin Rushing in his 3rd year. The bench boss of the technicians.
Yeah, you gotta respect him. Returning to his alma mater, where he graduated in 1993 to lead these guys' college career. Played just up the road at Eastern and the linebacker, and he's got that linebacker mentality too. I love when we get to interview him. Just his cadence, the way he talks, how matter-of-fact and sure he is. And then honors, he led class to district and regional in 2022.
Yeah, last year took him all the way to the semifinals. Doing great things at Comerica Bank.
Yeah, and he'll handle your finances.
That's right. That's it.
There's Ty Spencer right there.
.345 left. Nate Edwards is in trouble. Back to the 31. John Baker, the 4th. And Noah Bishop, the ends have been bookends, disruptive. And they are again here, Stig.
I mean, are we going to have a defensive G of the game? Because there hasn't been much offense, and Noah Bishop has been blowing players up all game long. He has had, what, 2 or 3 sacks?
Yeah.
Some big plays in the end zone.
Edwards now in a 2nd and 20. Gonna hand the ball off and not going anywhere. Stood up at that line. Who else? Cam Summerhour in there getting nosy. And King's gonna be in a deep, deep 3rd and long.
Yeah, Marvin McCullum, too, on that did a great job. We were talking about it earlier in the game. Contain. Not only did he contain, he crashed and made the tackle. Contain that, too, Chad.
Hard to contain the excitement in this booth and in this stadium. Just under 3 minutes to go. Ali Hadi, your executive producer. Maddie Miller on the field. She'll have our G of the game. You like the new lids?
I do.
G of the game
I
hats?
do. And I like the staff ones that you gave us, too. And this polo.
Yep. Thanks to G Brand USA, Brian Metallic and company. There's a middle screen, nearly intercepted. Trying to go to the middle again and trying to find Davis, but Cam Summerhour stuck his nose in there and continues to do dangerous things. You said he's an impact player. You didn't lie.
That was an impact right there. What a play. Gets up. You deserve to flex. Show off that weight room.
Man, doing work on 3rd down.
And what a huge recovery for Cass Tech. After losing that 4th down in the red zone, to be able to bounce back on defense and get the ball back and give yourself a chance to win. Massive swing.
So here comes the punt. It's a high end over end, and that's going to hit and roll in favor of Cass. And it'll be touchdown at the 34-yard line. So, 2:08 to go. This thing's setting up for overtime.
Yeah, baby.
What do you got planned for them?
I'd sit here all night and watch these two teams play, but
multiple overtime.
But after the game's over, I think we'll head downtown, a little down Lafayette. Maybe we'll get into something.
That'd be fun.
It will be fun.
I'd love to be your wingman. We take a look at Ty Spencer in his 8th season. What a career for Ty Spencer, a 2003 grad of King, and has brought this program and continued it along with some of the leadership that he saw before him and Coach Reynolds and such. And this is a guy that went to Wayne State. and has won state titles, back-to-back state titles. He's had 3 in his time here, a 4 times state champion here as a head coach. This is a guy that knows how to get it done. We enjoy talking to Ty Spencer. He's a real treat.
He is, and then also said on there a national chess player too, and you know that's what football is. It's a chess match.
It is. Ty is a child competed internationally. Sadler taking off. Sadler in space across midfield. One man to beat into the open field. Sideline and taken down to the 23. Corey Sadler stepping up with 2 minutes to go and taking his game under his left arm.
And you watch him. He starts right, heads left, speed burst, spin button, jump left, juke right. Nice block by 0. Lamont Wilcoxon right there. Get him down the field. A little bit maybe a horse collar tackle, but either way, he's down on the 20.
45-yard run for Sadler, who's starting to cross that 100-yard mark in total offense, and he has come off the field, and he looks to be banged up maybe a little bit.
Yeah, his ankle got rolled up on. But you know what? He's done his job. He's put his team in field goal range with 2 minutes left in the game.
Hendricks left side. Hendricks will find room and have about 7 off the left side in the biggest game of his young career. Cass on the move. Here's another look at that Sadler run and injury.
Yeah, watch him coming at you. Look at that, just the movement of his waist and how he's able to shift, and then he's smart enough to switch the ball, put it in his left hand. But here's the hard tackle right there. You just saw a little bit of an ankle twist. He's out on the sideline right now getting looked at.
He did injure that ankle in the opening week loss to Southfield A&T. Handoff up the middle. Hendricks to the end zone. Touchdown, Cass. Hendricks, they'll say he is down to the goal line. I thought he was in. My apologies. Hendricks inside the 1-yard line. What a run by the rookie.
But honestly, I think that'll work out better for Cass Tech. If you score there, you're giving Martin Luther King the ball back with some time. This way, you get to run some more time off the clock. But look at this guy go. Super strong. Good call by the official who's standing right there. He knew exactly what to do. But more time is running off this clock. You could take a knee here, too, if you wanted to, and kick the field goal.
First and goal from the 1. Handoff. Hendricks bottled up. Going to be a loss of 2 on the play. And the freshman saying, hey, look. So, clock continues to run, and as you said, maybe Cass wants to eat some clock. Not a bad play here.
No, not at all, honestly. Like I said, I would have preferred, if I'm Martin Luther King, for them to score, because at least I'm getting the ball back with about 1:20, and I can rebuttal. Now, if they bleed the clock and bring out their kicker, who's supposedly the best in school history, it's curtains.
23 seconds and rolling. Handoff up the middle. Hendricks into the end zone. Touchdown, Technicians. With 16 seconds left. On the road, the freshman, Hendricks in the end zone.
What a play by Cass Tech here. I mean, they're just pounding it up the middle, and that's, if it gets stopped, so be it. We'll kick the field goal, but why not put it into his hands? Hendricks has played a great game, and look who's the first guy on the sideline to greet him, Corey Sadler. You absolutely love to see your star players support freshmen coming up to the major level to play.
Extra point is up and good. So with 16 seconds left, 14-7, Cass Tech now on top of Detroit King.
A lot of the Martin Luther King fans starting to head to their cars. But, you know, this isn't over. Martin Luther King has some playmakers. You still got to kick the ball off, and they're still going to get a couple plays to run here. So we've seen crazier things happen, especially in this rivalry.
No doubt. Looking back in this game, some of the things you've seen from both sides that really have impressed you. Let's start first with King.
With Martin Luther King, what's impressed me is their young quarterback. I know we say young, but he's a senior, but he's young in this. He was very poised today. He threw the ball away when he had to. Martin Luther King's defense, stout all day long. Couple big takeaways, like I said, not even in the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. Their defense has really kept them alive.
We talked about Dante Moore, the UCLA freshman 5-star that finishes the number 4 recruit overall in the country. What a start to his career that he's had, Stick, including last week. And Deion Walker for Cass Tech, who's also had a fine sophomore season for Kentucky already after a fabulous freshman year.
Yeah, and that's what these programs keep doing. They just keep churning players out. Austin Sonnenberg, our stat guy, actually brought up something great. The city with the most players in the NFL, give you one guess. Detroit, Michigan, baby.
On NFL rosters opening week.
Yes.
19 of them.
That's insane.
Really is. Speaks to the volume of outstanding football student athletes in the city of Detroit. We're glad to bring it here. Here comes the kickoff. George Sanchez Murillo with 16 seconds left and cast by a touchdown. King needs a miracle. Return up the right side, up near the 40 and out of bounds at the 41. 7 seconds left. Make it 6 now. No Spartan Bob here. And King might have a play or two left.
I would say they either have a quick out to maybe get them to the 50-yard line to throw a Hail Mary, or this is the old lateral upon lateral upon lateral approach.
It's been a night where King has made most of their money on the ground. King has actually outgained Cass Tech in this contest, and they've had 15 less plays. 235 of total offense versus 231 of total offense.
Yeah, but go look at that time of possession. That's what's really, really standing out to me. I mean, 45 minutes to 12. That's tough to overcome.
So here we go. 6 seconds left. King looking for a miracle. Nathan Edwards, the senior quarterback. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Empty set. Edwards. With time running out. One last play. Caught, and down he goes. The catch, the completion to the leading receiver tonight, Jamar Davis. He's tackled to the turf. And Cass Tech has won this defensive battle and come back from a 7-0 deficit at the break.
Yeah, Will Sykes and Corey Sadler waving goodbye to the Martin Luther King sideline. We still got to do the handshakes, fellas. Let's do this like gentlemen and how it should be here. But what an exciting game. What an exciting day. What an exciting play here at the field.
So, the Battle of the City, Part 1, goes to Cass Tech. 14-7 winners over King. We'll talk to our G of the game coming up in just a moment. Thanks for watching. We're The Prep, and this is Gridiron Game Day.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
Cass Tech wins it by a score of 14-7 over Detroit King. A touchdown by the freshman Hendricks, set up by Corey Sadler Jr. CJ is our G of the game, and he's down with our own Maddie Miller down on the field. Maddie, take it away.
I'm here with the G of the game, Corey Sadler. Corey, y'all were down at halftime. Come back with 2 minutes left. You get 7-7. You make a huge play to bring the ball down the field. What was going through your head at that moment?
Big time players make big time plays, man. I know I had to come through for my team, man. You know, and I just do what I do for the team, man, so we can win.
Now, what did this game mean to you? It's a big rivalry game. You guys knew you had to win. How good does that feel?
It means a lot to me. You know, this is what I came to Cass for. This type of matchup. I love these type of matchups. Lights on Friday night. Everybody else support. My team, man, they played excellent. Great. Defense played great. Offense, we got to the slow start, but we picked it up. You know what I'm saying? So I just thank my team, my coaches for sticking with me and believing in me.
Thank you so much, Corey. Enjoy the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Maddie. Really appreciate it. Our G of the game, CJ Sadler. Congrats to CJ, sensational sophomore. And thanks to Maddie Miller with a great job on the sidelines. Stick, your final thoughts on this win. The Battle of the City goes to Cass Tech 14-7.
You know, sometimes I feel like I talk a little too much about Corey Sadler, and then all of a sudden this game happens, and you're like, okay, that's why we're talking about him a lot. Pre-game, during the game, and everything. Great win for Cass Tech. You can see this propelling their program. They're now 2-2, even on the season. It's kind of a rebirth. It's a restart, plus you got the win over your rivals. I'm interested to see what Cass Tech does after this.
Thanks so much. Want to thank our crew, hardworking and talented, led by Ali Hadi tonight. For my partner, Sam Stick Day, Maddie Miller on the sidelines. Special thanks to Jay Alexander and the PSL and Dr. Vitti. My name's Chad Bush. Have a great night, everybody. Your final score, the Battle of the City. In week 4, in round 1, it goes by way of the Technicians, who win at 14-7. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. So long.